Okay, I do have to like reference to myself, just to be able to put together what has been going on in my life and how I have been dealing with it. Because it's just so important. It's just so important to be aware of what you're facing and how you're solving problems. Maybe you're missing something. And it's almost like I can't be aware without making a video about it. My computer does have a problem, as like this is a regular problem, okay? This is not my computer's problem. This is like engineers have no fucking idea how to make chargers. They just gave up at this point. I know what I'm waiting for, and it's out there. You have magnetic chargers. Magnetic fucking chargers. I have no idea what the efficiency is, but I want it. Because those shit don't break, okay? They're not made out of wires. They're not made out of bendable wires. This shit doesn't break. There's a lot of shit that I need right now. And the world has it. All I have to do is spend money. I'm not out of topic. I mean, Ariana Seven Rings is about spending money and solving problems. It's kind of the hint of who she is, supposedly, and somehow that became more viral than Thank You Next, in a way. It's a weird thing. I don't know what's going on. In a way, like, that is a powerful song, but that is also like a very, for me, Seven Rings was like a disgusting song. I didn't liked it. I liked Thank You Next, like, in every way. At some point I started liking Seven Rings. I have no idea. At some point I changed my mind. Like, okay, it's okay. But she has so many better songs, and again, I don't like the douchiness of it. Like, what was the point? What was the actual point? Because if I see the actual point, then I can actually judge. But when it feels so random and emotionally correct, because that's always going to be the case. It's emotionally correct, but wrong in many other ways that Ariana is just not aware of. Okay, I almost turned off my computer. Anyway, my biggest problem is my sleeping, because I probably sleep too long. I do have great dreams, by the way. Like, there's some great shit. Like, yesterday, I got to meet Rebecca Black again. Yay! That's amazing. And almost that connection, it felt like I made a brag against my entire class. I can finally brag. Like, I wanna make a fucking brag for so long. Turn into an ace that really has something more than just, sit next to a computer. I mean, for fuck's sake. Am I not doing any progress with my life? Is that not how life works? You sit down and you solve problems until you pick up speed, and then you move, right? You put together a car and then you move. Oh no, you buy a car and then you move in life? Are you fucking kid? Are you fucking moron right now? You gotta be fucking... you gotta be the most retarded person in the world if you can think that you can buy away from problems. I think I've said it somewhere before. It feels so familiar, and yet people are still fucking clueless. You think you're gonna go to a job, you're gonna run away from your problems and solve them with buy things. Absolutely not. This is not how it's done. The only reason why it works on Ariana is that she wants to solve emotional problems. Emotional. It's a whole different world. For me, solving problems is not emotional. It's actually quite real. It's all about growing, right? But growing in a very weird way. You're trying to find yourself in things. Find things that you like. Again, it's not like a perfect world. I don't want to put myself ahead, but it's probably better than Ariana's, okay? It's probably better. It has to be. As an ace, I have to show like an absolute best example of how to live, which is weird. I don't want to say this, right? I don't want to be ahead of everyone, but now I have to. I have to challenge myself. This is all that it is about. This YouTube Battle Royale is me understanding first what ownership is. Because if you have incredible talent and you really want to share yourself to the world, it's important. It's important to take ownership of things. If there's YouTube out there and you can grab it and make it your own, why don't you fucking do it? Why don't you fucking embrace real ownership and not trying to buy things, but trying to like really be present, everyone has to be aware about you being present, right? And then that might just be enough. That might just be like, yeah, this guy is always hanging around, like, he deserves some credit. Once people start thinking about credit, like, people are not thinking about certain things, and once you feed them tools to think about certain things a certain way, because I had to go through quite a bit of a jungle, right? Matrix is a jungle, and every single time you find a tool, it's very hard to pick up. It's even harder to share that tool. I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea how am I gonna escape Matrix, have all this tool pack, and teach it to other people. How am I gonna turn everyone else into a ninja that I feel like I am? Like I feel like I am next level because I actually tried. I actually tried to be original. I actually tried to stand against everyone else. I sucked everyone else's hatred, sort of, because people hate doing what I was doing. You know, it doesn't feel like I have friends that do exactly the same thing and are like, oh shit, light up, you know? They light up because they're passionate about the same thing. That's why friendships are so difficult for me. But why? It means that I am not doing what everyone else is doing. They're not happy about it. So they cannot tag along. And people very much like to tag along with everyone else. If you try and notice that, obviously. If you happen to be in the same place, never put yourself down. Just stay there. Just stay there. Not necessarily laugh at other people, because you probably won't be able to. They're just pathetic, right? You can't just laugh at pathetic people. Like, you can't do that. They're just pathetic. They're just starting to fade out and be less and less interesting. And they don't understand that. They think that you are becoming less and less interesting until the coin flips the very last moment. The moment when it's too late. The moment when they have to be like, oh shit, what have I done? I have destroyed a relationship that has been the greatest opportunity in my life, right? To become something. And they will come back to you and be like, what can you give me? What kind of credit can you give me? And that is the worst way that you come to a person. The way that you come to a person is not to ask credit, but first of all, check what's actually going on, right? Because maybe I'm just evil and I hoarded all this fucking value out of nowhere. You have to check whether I'm good or not, right? Even though evil doesn't exist, and technically, the world of demons is kind of like a joke idea, but I had to live through that. I had to live through the idea that everyone is evil and everyone is doing wrong in the world. This narrative that I've just laid down for 10 minutes, which is, I appreciate it. I appreciate myself. I mean, I don't think anyone in the YouTube community can actually just do it. Just fucking sit down and just do it, okay? I have been doing it for quite a while now, so I'm good at it. Okay, I'm good at ranting, I'm good at being really upset with what everyone else is doing, and yeah, even in YouTube, even when with the sponsorships and you can see with the college humor, you know, they have a problem with money. Everyone has problems with money, and everyone has problems with problems at that point. It's not exclusive necessarily to emotions. If you're trying to solve emotions with money, like, great. At the same time, if you are very good at it, you're gonna become pretty good at the game. And technically, that's what jokers are. They're floating above the game because they have more resources, and nobody can touch them. They are untouchable by the game. But that's what makes them weak. That's what makes them numb from all from reality, right? They can't come down and be like, help you guys. They can only help themselves. They can only, again, show you an example that not necessarily supposed to be followed. It's a joker. It's kind of gross, okay? You kind of have to stay away and be like, no thanks. I want something better in my life. However, there are reasons that, first of all, jokers exist. You would want to become a joker. It's better than everything else, for example, because you still have to live in your own world. You still have to kind of be lonely and suck it up to it, because you cannot solve every problem, but you have enough resources to like shape the world to make it more comfortable, and you have to still follow everyone else. You're not a timeless piece of a human being. You're gonna time out, you're gonna drop down to the ground and die. It's game over. At that point, it's game over. You can't come back from that, because you have created a creature that actually looks pretty evil. Okay, like Poppy and Delphine, like really evil. I'm not gonna lie. I can't really judge everyone else. Like Todd Howard, we're slightly curious of how evil he is now after all this time. The best game got delayed after Skyrim gets a few adjustments instead of like patches that are genuinely changing the game and improving it. Like, there's a lot of questionable things going on. I would say in every person's life that is up here. Okay, it's I don't want to dig too deep. There's definitely things to roast, but jokers are so roastable. You might lose your head trying to, wrap your head and around them, and you're gonna do an Onision flip, right? An Onision flip where you're promoting them instead of actually roasting them. What is the point? Don't talk about it. It's not important. Just mention it, say which level they are on, and move on to better things. Because if you just talk about memes, you become a meme. It is that fucking simple and dangerous. You must keep on jumping to better things to talk about that you're more passionate about, rather than just, oh, it's a trend, I have to pick it up for my YouTube channel. Because that's what I want to grow. I'm a creator. Who cares if you're a creator? When you're dealing with the ace problems, I'm gonna fucking blow your minds off. Okay? What problems I have to deal with. I will grow exponentially in a list of problems of what people deal with and what I deal with, and what people deal with at the same time who are my level. Because there are people who I consider pretty much my level, who have pretty much climbed up all the way up without probably even noticing how much work they have put into what they're doing, because they're most of the time you're just passionate, you're just out there surrounded by people you don't necessarily notice. It feels normal to them, but it's not normal to anyone else. That's what they're so attractive. It's a weird thing to put together, but there is a reason why they're aces, and there's a reason why they are in the game. They don't have infinite resources, even though they might have it, but there's a difference, right? Even if you have something, if you don't spend it, if you don't spend those resources, you're not really pushing yourself out of the game, right? You're not putting a wall against everyone else and saying, I don't want to play this. This is too much for me, right? I want to adjust my life so it doesn't bother anyone else. I can live my life and live. It's a funny thing how Joker politics can take place over ace politics, because it's a completely different world. This live your life mentality is a Joker politics. Okay, there's a lot of Joker politics going on all over the place, and it's almost like a left and right mentality as well. There's a lot of snipers here, as I mentioned. There's a lot of, fix your emotions people. No reason in particular, but obviously, like, these Earth people, they just naturally become who I become. I don't even want to. Like, Alyssa Violet is not a wonderful Earth person. They stumble and fall down. It doesn't matter what your personality is. I'm just saying what the trend is like today. What's today's trend? And in today's trend, Earth people are probably doing pretty good, if they're doing pretty good. There's nothing to do. Absolutely nothing. If you get up to Joker level, you feel like you can just move on. Next, you go to the next level. If you even manage to get here, because the world is very narcissistic and very cruel, and Earth can't handle that. I mean, the Earth itself has a timeline and seasons, and you have to adjust that and understand that sometimes you're gonna just be sucked into this problem pool and gonna come out at the other end as a fucking leader and a hero, even though you didn't actually ask for that. You just happened to not be afraid, right? You just kind of gave up at some. I gave up, for example, many times on many things, and it doesn't necessarily turn me into a hero. It just makes me better than everyone else. It's weird. Because the moment you give up on something, your entire worldview changes. You can't go back. You gave up on something. Other people also gave up on something. So now you're trying to compare of how your life changed, and how do you define when you're better than somebody else? Because this is a very strict pattern. It's a very strict pattern. A deck of cards is a very strict pattern. First of all, you know the level of hotness. Everyone judges that. Better than everyone else does exist. There is a level of popularity, which is very much needed for jokers to be relevant. Jokers have to constantly buy popularity in order to still exist in the game, but not really play the game. They still have to buy things, okay? They still have to earn money and buy things. That's important. Or earn resources, it doesn't matter. You can exchange popularity from anything. You can think of, you can exchange anything to anything. And that's what money is. It's an easy way to say it, but you kind of have to say it the full way of like resources or anything into anything. So, or an absolute exchange of whatever. It's money, but it's not money. It's much more. Because trading is so much more. Alright, so the aces, how can they be better than everyone else? And so much better. So not only they're in this world, grounded amongst everyone else, they use only enough resources to stay grounded, but have speed. It's like, instead of buying wings, they buy cars. They buy real technology that really makes you cool. Like, really makes you look like you came from Matrix. Okay. And it's not just you can just buy what aces buy. You can't replicate their lives. You can't just look at them and replicate their lives. It's very easy to replicate a Joker's life because everything they have helps them kind of stay away from real life problems. That's the whole point. It's like, buy some drugs. It's like, it's that sort of mentality. And you can see these mentalities actually existing and being very much promoted because they're very high level mentalities. But once you hear about aces and you fully fucking understand what it is, you're gonna be like, oh shit. Oh shit, that is pretty badass. That's what you're gonna just think. Because when you see a hot person, that's a hot person. When you see a wonderful creator putting hours and hours into his work and producing content, you can see that. It's better than a regular person who doesn't do that, who is not out there, and who we don't know about anymore. It's faded out of time itself. It's not trying to struggle and peek its head out there for any reason whatsoever. It's not trying to. Because judgment, the moment you're a creator, you're dealing with that extra bit of judgment. And not everyone can take that. I'm not gonna lie. Not everyone can take that. And once you transcend judgment, you understand that there is even higher level of judgment, which is absolute testing and ripping apart your limbs and legs and turning into evil fucking monsters. That's why Jokers are the way they are. And there's nothing else in between aces and creators. Aces are the most powerful people on the planet. You can't bend them. You can't break them. You can't shake them. And if you try, hell knows what's gonna happen to you when I come down and you try. 'Cause Jokers, they might be stupid, right? They might look a little bit less more powerful, and they are, because you gonna be beamed up to their world. They're gonna beat you up in their world with their rules. I'm gonna beat you with my fucking voice. That's it. That's all I fucking need. Just you, my voice, and you're dead. That's how powerful it's gonna be, okay? That's what aces can do. They can kill you with just pure talent, pure power, out of nowhere, okay? You will not see that coming. And with that power comes great... What? Not responsibility. Because power doesn't require responsibility. You take responsibility. Because, oh shit, it's powerful. Might as well take responsibility. Just because you're powerful. Take responsibility for who you are. It's a weird quote. I don't like it. I don't like cliches, obviously, because they don't actually explain anything. But as I've just mentioned, this is a power scale. You have to understand how it works and why it works. Why am I so anxious to prove my power? Is if anyone comes with a knife, they might be able to defeat me. You know, stab me in the back. But that first has to happen. You know, they have to go through walls and walls of self-defense that I had to learn just to afford this. Okay, just to afford speaking like that at the same time. All right, it's not like everyone can do this. It's not like everyone can talk about it, because the judgment goes to a completely next level yet again, right? The judgment turns into evil itself. You're talking with the devil now, and you're playing this game of like, I will never sleep. I will never die. Oh shit. And the devil's like, damn, that's like almost as powerful as I am. I am scared. You know, you have to scare the devil itself in order to be an ace. And that's what it takes. That's why people do not come here. At all. And don't even adopt ace politics. Doesn't adopt mostly anything. There's probably just a few things that aces was able to inject or constantly milk people into doing something. Right? There's probably just a good structure, an invisible structure of good things that aces have created. And once you realize that again, I mean, that's gonna uplift you. This whole fucking journey is absolutely. That's one word. It's just absolutely. It's insanity. Right there. But you cannot judge it. You cannot just pick me apart anymore. It's game over. Right? So people try to do that. I turned into a joker for a few moments. And guess what I did? I met a lot of friends along the way. In fact, I met a person that I wanted to just push a button, turn into aces. Let's see what happens. Let's see what she does to the rest of the aces and how she introduces herself. I don't know. It's fun. I found my Monica after a long time of not searching. All I had to do is just open my eyes and be like, friendly with everyone who I'm passionate about, who I thought were untouchable and really much more popular, much more beautiful than I am. Like, who cares, right? They have all these things that I don't have, but why should I fucking let my guard down and be a fucking loser? I don't have to be that way. And that's it. That's the game over. The moment my friends realize where I am, it's gonna be too late. And I will finally be able to laugh at them. As much as they laugh at me. Like, who cares, right? Oh, I did wrong life choices. Yeah, thanks for your help. Jesus Christ. Every time you judge someone, you know you're on the wrong path because you're not helping them in any way. Unless judgment works like social pressure and the person snaps back into society. If the person is not snapping back, your judgment makes them stronger. Guess what? They they first turn into creators. I'm gonna tell my entire story of how I progressed. Okay, it's a very slow progress because there's only 4 steps to it. Okay, there's probably stuff in between that you can. There are levels in between, obviously. Uh, it's just it's just natural that everything is made out of very tiny little steps that you have to make, and I can almost put it all together and just give you guys just super honest, because this 30 minutes have been like me ranting. It's just me sitting down and killing you with my voice. I can do much better than that. Eventually, it's not that difficult to be better. Just tiny bit better, so your heart stops. I I don't like I don't like the sound of that, but like, jeez. Sometimes you just gotta do it. You just gotta prove your worth, and it's very important to a person who has been struggling in life. And life is not something that you normally struggle on. Okay, you have to understand what life is and what devil is. Devil is like, yeah, I like you because you're rising to my power level, but it's not like devil is gonna stab anyone in the back. He's actually a fun dude that's not evil, but everyone else thinks he's evil. This is why you kind of hear in the very deep levels of politics of people who worship devil, but at the same time it's yet again wrong. You don't worship devil. He's just there with highest power level that constantly evils himself, so nobody would like him. He's just adopting as much evil so nobody would like him. Not a single person would like him. But you have to know him personally. You have to know the devil personally, right? To know this little secret, to unlock, and then you can talk to him, and you can discover all these weird things. But until you discover that little secret personally, you have to personally discover. It might be even a different secret that he's withholding from you. So what's gonna happen when you enter the devil and you start talking to him and asking different things? That's probably gonna be in the next episode or the next round. I don't want to talk with the devil yet. It's gonna be fun. Holy shit. Um, Maybe I have never done this before. I never know. But what would it mean for you to talk to the highest power level? As I've said, I'm trying to solve the problem of like, life isn't exactly like a bad for anyone. Yes, people die and bad shit happens, but when you really break it down, most of the time you're responsible for your own death, and you die for your own good. You move on to something else in the Matrix. Because Matrix is full of life. Matrix doesn't give a fuck about you. And if you don't like it, your body's gonna detect it and it's gonna die for you. You don't even have to do anything because that's what life is. It's a thing. Yeah, it's a thing. Life is a thing. I'm not even sure how multidimensional it is because it's a thing. It's a constant thing that you can actually observe and learn. And, wow, it's a thing. And at some point it slips away from you, but it brings you back to life because somebody creates you for somehow. It's just that fucking weird thing where somebody creates you and you're like, oh shit, I can live again because I have a resource. And this is, okay, thanks. You know, love is one of those things where, you know, you learn creation and then you have it. You have this replication that we call sex. You have it for a reason, because that brings life. But even that has to be created, and you know that this creation process that you have within you can be improved. Everything can be improved. That means that, again, higher levels have higher levels of something. It's not like, oh, this guy is attractive, you know, he's good looking and shit, which is a Joker politics. You have to buy a lot of things in order to look that way. This is a lot. This is a lot. The moment you open up the door and the devil starts talking to you, and you realize the devil is not the devil, is a highest level of good that has been able to lie to you about how evil it is, and how it looks, and who he is. Everything about it felt evil, was evil, but the moment you really need, the devil is not who he is, right? The moment you really need, evil does not exist anymore. That's the key. When you realize that evil doesn't exist anymore, that you can actually defeat everyone and everything, essentially. The evil will constantly come back and like tap you in the back and ask you, well, how do you defeat this problem? How do you defeat that problem? You're going to be constantly challenged, because it's not like you're a timeless piece, but you are capable of fighting against time itself, against concepts that seem unbeatable and way larger than the life that you live. But you can beat anything. There is a reason why time exists, and guess what? Aces are the ones who engineer everything in the universe here on this planet or plane. Whatever we exist upon, aces engineer everything. To the fucking molecule you breathe in, and molecules that run through your blood. Everything. Once you find an ace in your life, you will need it, and you will know who that is. I don't need an ace. I need all of them that I have found in my life. For I will become an ace very soon. That is an introduction to round 8. There's gonna be an introduction for round 9. Absolutely. Because I have to introduce a team member that I thought deserves a title of ace. It's not a very easy thing to give. And entering a world of ace, perhaps sometimes you do have to give credit to someone else. Even though you came and it felt like 100% your work that was put in, maybe someone woke you up to a possibility of something, to a possibility of greater power. And you have to give all the credit to that person. They might not necessarily take it, okay? They might not 100% take it from you and be like, let's go do it, 100% excited. Even I myself will not be able to put myself together the moment the judgment floods in once again, because I'm not popular, right? There are challenges that we both will go through, right? But I'm gonna do all the work I can to, defend myself and her. And it's gonna be a long introduction to do that. I swear. that's gonna be a video that everyone has to see. Supposedly. We'll see. I want to make a video that everyone wants to see. So I introduced myself as an ace. I did that. I did all the work. And now I'm introducing someone else. Attempting to give them the credit that they need. And attempting to realize that I don't have what they have. I didn't go through what they went through. I would very much like to know their story in depth, and not like this sugar-coated pill that they feed to the public because they have to. There's so much more in life that's gonna happen simply because you're finally starting to settle down. that's the feeling that people will start getting if a person starts to behave just almost like he accepts the judgment. Sometimes he reflects the judgment, but basically he treats it as a ball, a hot potato that doesn't come back. I'll take it. It's a fine resource for me. Hot potato, I'll fucking take it. I don't mind. Okay? You give me all the credit in the world, and then they realize, oh shit, that hot potato is very hot and I want it. I want to change that final thing that I give to a person, because that's how I will be remembered for the rest of my life. That's how dangerous aces are. You were my friend. Well, give everything you can, for you will be remembered. That is fucking crazy. Next power level, guys. Let's go. With this introduction, my mind is just blown. I have blown my own mind just with that. Ouch. Ugh. Is smoke coming out of my body now? How excited I am. Let's keep going. I don't think anything is gonna happen with these battles that I've introduced. I'm just gonna keep on going. And I've double checked Poppy. It's good. Actually, Delphine is creating more problems to me than Poppy when it comes to I'm a girl and I look cute and stuff. Delphine, in real essence, she doesn't exactly look cute at all. She looks fucking ugly. And I'm like, ugh. But she dresses nice. So again, you have to peel off the layer of skepticism sometimes and understand that there is communities. There are certain people that like these people that take certain examples and bring it to real life. That's what jokers are capable of doing the best. They show unimaginable level of examples that cannot be replicated either, because aces are also pretty difficult to do, but jokers are also difficult because they live in a completely different reality. So things that exist in their life can't really exist in a normal life. Let's put it that way. And if a person brings something from a joker's life, all of a sudden jokers have a community. Okay, jokers all of a sudden have a person that they can trust because they nailed it. So if you can take a piece of heaven and hold it on earth while being on earth, that is pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably a creator level achievement, right? It's what they do. They create a community. And if you recognize yourself doing that, well, just put a flag and say, I have the community. I have the power of community. That's not bad. So all you have to recognize is that these people have crazy things, but sometimes some people take a piece of it, come down, and present it to everyone else, and everyone is like, wait, you brought some moon dust? Are you fucking kidding? How did you get that? You know, that's that sort of shit. Imagine this scenario. Let's take a real world example. You're watching a movie, right? There are movie stars that could be Joker level. I'm not gonna lie. You know, some people you might like, and put it on Joker level instead. Because, but you have to understand, they are surrounded by many people, many people who are helping them construct a movie and be an actor in it, and they earn a lot of money, but only because they are a face. It's a very different rule on YouTube, and that's why I like YouTube a lot more. You can't just be a face. You can't just act. Okay, you gotta perform. You gotta be yourself. That's an ouch right there. So some movies, transcend that, and like Scott Pilgrim, gets so much credit, it turned into a person in my team. What? Yes, it's not like I leave movies behind, but I'm talking about a completely different ownership of the world right now that is possible. An ownership that got really scary, by the way. Well, that stabbed me in the back. Because, world improves and everything becomes better, but everything becomes so much more difficult. Uh, it almost doesn't matter. But at the same time, I almost feel like it's more like a journey. Like life never really improves. Life tricks you into the idea of changing for the better, but it's not actually becoming better at any point ever, life because when you compare life to existence, well, existence can take any shape. The only thing that changes the existence, however, in this case, is the history that you're building up, the power that you're building up, and you have to kind of respect that. It's so weird, but there's a lot more aspects in the Matrix that I don't have, and I might never know. I might not know everything, and hey, that's what YouTube is about, is educating yourself. It will never end. Education, and I am crying inside right now, because I will never stop educating myself. God damn it. What have I gotten myself into? Give me some drugs. Turn me into Joker, please. I'm not exactly sure who Victoria Justice is. She seems nice. I'm not sure how much Ariana is supposed to give her credit for. Like, when you are surrounded by these people, you might want to give a lot of credit. If you want to be like, have an ace as your friend, because that's what I'm offering right now. It's like, I'm not coming to Ariana as a fan, I'm coming to like a fist of doom. Oh shit, he wants me in my team. Oh wait, no, it's the other way around. My team, okay? My team. It's gonna be your team too, I guess. Stupid snipers. Jesus Christ. I give her a lot of credit, but this Victoria bitch, she's tough. I'm not gonna lie. This intro that she put together, that's pretty good. Okay. I recognize something that came together for me. And I saw Selena Gomez kind of enter a building that I left. And it was a very kind of graduating leaving from a building. I left with Rebecca Black, and I saw Selena Gomez just kind of slip into it. And I'm like, wait, I want to meet her. And I'm like, I can't for some reason. I kind of have to let her go. I can't chase her for some reason. It felt very respectful manners. At the same time, I was also trying to save Monica at the same dream. There's a lot of things that happened that were like super powerful. Monica for me is like my personal Joker, and I also have a guy that's a personal Joker to me. So that was like a big dream for me. I'm sure there might be bigger dreams, but like this was big. And technically it all felt like aces have a power to bring jokers to the ground at their will. So if someone wants to actually meet real Ariana and see and feel and hear real Ariana, like authentic, I can do it. I can bring her down for people. I can teach her the skills so she comes down and becomes a wild card just for a little moment. That's the flip that they can do. Jokers can turn into wild cards and be like the coolest person to hang out with for a moment until they have to go back to their, their world. But I can do it. I can give jokers what they really, really want in life. That's what makes aces aces, is that, they give the person below them, just as in every case, some piece that brings life to them. Like creators can come up with a song that inspires a regular person to be, a hot person, enjoy life a lot more, right? The same way jokers can inspire creators by giving that piece of heaven. Same goes for aces. They can actually strike the ground that we live in with a person that just comes from heavens. But who sent that fucking person? Think about it. Give me all the credit right now before I actually do it. So yeah, they come to my school, they learn my tricks, and we figure out how to put them down. Authentic as possible. Right? See? That's ownership. If I can own their ideas, I own them at this point. Taylor Swift is now an owned person as well. Is also an ace. Like these themes that I put together, there might be a twist. There might not be one new ace introduced into the world, but might be 8 more that I have never seen before, and they're introduced, like, just like that. I might be wrong about this, but it might just be the best celebration ever. Fuck yeah. At least I'm certain about my ace, okay? Fuck that shit. Fuck that other shit. I'm also, I guess I feel some sympathy for my special little jokers. My jokers. Not necessarily jokers themselves, but people who rule certain teams. But nah, I feel sympathy for everyone. So I can't be as right as well as I feel. That is so weird. I can't wait for round 8 and 9. Haha. The coolest fucking rounds ever. Yay. Let's go.
Hey, look, we're doing.
I need to learn more about her. She shows up in Ariana's Thank You Next video because, it's... I don't even know why, actually. I have no idea. But her name is Jade? Are you kidding me? Jade? Like Jewel, It's a vampire thing now that's going right now. I nailed it. Like, if you follow your feelings, some weird shit happens. Ouch. It really hurts. Stupid coincidences. Die Jade? Yeah, because she's cold-blooded or whatever. In the whole thing. She's the wind girl. Congratulations. You have a personality. I don't like this, man. Her name is literally Cat. It's not Katie, not Cat with a K. It's just Cat. What? How do you get a name like that? How? Is it literally like... How do we describe her personality? Just ridiculous. Yeah, okay, that happened. I was like, I'm not sure if I want to like put my bet on Ari right now that the 12th episode is gonna be like the shit. But she just took a dump on Victoria or Tori. It doesn't make a difference anymore. I don't know. Let's see it. I'm not excited. You just won 10 times your bet. How much did you bet? A little bit. I knew that was gonna be a cool episode, but not with that twist. Because Tori's boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, is now Kat's boyfriend. So let's see what happens. Do they break up? That would be interesting. You know, in one episode. What we're gonna talk about next is kind of unrelated to anything at all. Or is it? RuneScape bots. I just watched a video and got horrified of how many bots there are in the game and how they kind of destroy the game. But essentially, I feel bots are the future. Somehow. You should be able to tell a bot what to do. Just tell them commands and see if they actually perform those commands. And then if they don't perform those commands, it goes to main database that as a failure. You know, and it tries to fucking correct itself. Who cares? I want bots. I want to interact with my computer in a completely next level, and this is not a problem. RuneScape botting, isn't. In fact, it's like next level of interaction, and you don't get that in many games. RuneScape has been for a long time, and people try to innovate in that sort of direction where everything is automated, and it's sort of good that way. I appreciate it. But what I don't appreciate is that I cannot play that. You know, botting is not exactly encouraged. It's almost like, let's try and catch that. Let's try and figure out how to sort people from bots when it's technically impossible. You're looking at a game, okay? It's a game. You can't catch bots. You can't do that in a game where you have non-player players, non-people, human creatures that are in the game. Like, you can't actually be proven to be not a robot in a game. It's almost like Fallout 4 had the same self-awareness problem of like, what is a bot, and how do we treat them? Do we just eradicate bots if they get created? What is that? It's a weird thing to say because Fallout 4 wasn't botted, obviously. It's a single-player game. But even that one got self-awareness. Everyone is self-aware about AI, obviously. So that's a topic that game designers touch, I suppose. I'm really, really, really interested in this. Because if it worked properly, and if you can create your own bot just to tell them what to do and to explore a completely different type of gameplay where you're not actually playing the game, you're just telling things what they should do and see what the result is. Feed strategies into an already existing working unit, right? Because work isn't necessarily that interesting, and even like playing a game isn't that necessarily interesting. It's actually having a pet sometimes is what people desire. Sometimes. I'm just saying. Some snipers want pets and they play clicker games. I have experienced that firsthand. Clicker games? Are you serious? Coming back after like the AFK clicker games. Oh, god damn it. But this is what people default at because there's no botting actually going on. So with that in mind, if we started from scratch, how would that even look like? What game are we talking about? And it probably would be a simpler version of RuneScape where bots are allowed. That's it. Just completely allowed. But only if you showcase or outsource your scripts. There's probably an easy way to catch bots because they are interacting with the game in a completely irregular manner. And I'm not exactly sure how I would do that still. Even though, like, the first thing first is that you cannot do the same activity over and over again without suspicion thrown at you. There's all kinds of ways to do that. You can throw money. And there's already a RuneScape anti-bot system that's not being used properly, which is random encounters of people just approaching you. They come out of nowhere, however, and they're not very rewarding. And that's why it's so easy to just ignore them. And if real people ignore these sort of events, it's no longer also a bot detection event. So all we have to do as real people, we have to create our own events. We almost should be able to be recruited into bot verification. If real people do it, there's no way bots can actually succeed anymore, because at that point you have to interact with a real person. That is just a must. Okay, you can be forced into doing that in a game. So that's one and the only way you can defeat bots. By the way, bots rule YouTube as well. It's actually one of the most important enemies of YouTube is botting, right? People who understand algorithm better than the other people. People who are generating different kind of events just to figure out what works. These are people we want out. Get the fuck out of here, okay? We don't want you trying to figure out what is the next edge that we can fucking reach. Just be yourself on YouTube or get the fuck out of here, piece of shit bot. That's what you are if you're trying to screw up the system just because it doesn't work for you for some reason. Shut the fuck up, go away, be yourself, or you're gonna be destroyed. These are the channels that are gonna be immediately going after and destroying, exposing them, doing whatever it takes to do my work, because I love that sort of work when I can just take my rocket launcher and throw a rocket right in that person's face, which I don't like. that's what I'm gonna be doing. Okay, that's my work. I'm taking it. But you guys sketch RuneScape bots. You guys can do that. I think a lot of people should employ themselves and just report RuneScape bots at this point. And with enough reports, Jagex can't do anything but to ban a person. Even if it's a person, okay? If there's enough reports, there's enough reason to fucking ban it or even question it for what's going on. But at the same time, you can't. The system is very intricate. The report system is very intricate. It would be the same in YouTube. Someone from higher up has to verify, and it has to keep on go higher and higher until it reaches that point of like the switch point. So a publican may not like a person, but they can't just throw 10 reports and be done with it. It has to go higher up and recycle more votes if needed, right? Maybe the higher up person is going to be on like a 50%, still unsure generally, and 10 votes is not going to change anything. But maybe the higher ups is going to look at those 10 votes and be like, yeah, that's true, right? Even if it spreads out of proportion, it's only going to still go higher up and higher up until there's obviously a threshold of like 1,000 people, whereas there's no higher up that can actually overwatch all 1,000 reports, so it's like game over for that person. You have to start all over again, and you will be remembered because taking 1,000 reports is like tremendous achievement. Actually, it's weird what you can do, but this system has to be set up, and that's why I took note of that. I'm very grateful that it has more than one use. It has not only this like sit around, tell commands, and you have this bot army that does whatever you want just because you talk to them. It's weird, but at the same time you're also learning to overwatch them and see how they perform, and what you look through statistics, and you're learning management basically. That is a higher level of like what a skill that you should learn right now, because bots are taking over the world anyways, like that's happening. It's not just games or trying to get the edge of certain new upcoming technologies and platforms. It's not just that. It's work in general is getting botted, and we need more managers to just take care of things that are profitable, because there's going to be more and more things that are profitable than just because they're popular, or someone might just straight up hire you just because you're a good manager of some kind. I don't know how recruitment even is going to work in the future, so I don't want to speculate anymore. This is also very interesting. It makes me think about language yet again, of how it's constructed. There's certain words that use, let's say, double letters. And it's really, really uncomfortable. It's almost like you need extra letters on the keyboard in order to express those. Because what does that mean? Why do they come in pairs? You can't just type the same letter twice without using the same button, right? And if you use different buttons, then you can use different fingers for those buttons. Meaning that this is a problem. This is a typing problem that I've never heard about. Now I can do one special button, which is Q, right? Q is never used for anything. Anything ever is the ultimate questing adventure right there. So the button Q I use right now in order to, and this is the code, right? This is the simple code to double the letters. You mean, please. Oh, I didn't actually run it, but I can do L, I can do S, I can do E. These are the common ones that I found. That's supposed to be letters in English, but are not letters, are actually used as normal. But in this age, in the keyboard age, I do not accept this, okay? This has to be upgraded somehow. Or Q has to be upgraded. I'm just saying. Letters have to be repurposed. So keyboard actually works. I have no idea how keyboard is designed itself. I never questioned that. Nor has I been taught. So most of the time, if you're not taught something, you can just throw it away and not question it anyways. Just saying. I wonder what else I'm gonna find out. Alright, so I am looking for cheat codes. I'm not exactly sure if this would work now that I think of it. I'm looking for cheat codes in typing. There are a lot of words that end with E, but how are you gonna simplify that? Because even if I add Q and then I add a space as if the word is ending, I'm still pressing the same amount of keys. So it actually doesn't work out for me. And I still gonna be left a turtle. Alright, so with this essential toolkit, which I changed a little bit, as you can see here, I need to add this bit so it's hot string, it's not exactly hotkey, so it doesn't block Q as well. So when numeral life think half, when the double letter appears, all I have to do is APQ, and Q already sounds like Q. It's like, what's in the queue? You look in the person in front of the queue and you see P, so you just repeat P. It's easy as that. This is the craziest thing, by the way. Not only this is Sniper Arsenal, because you can type a word very, very quickly. A word. Like that, right? I will type up here faster than... Right now, normally... Up here. Okay? But if you try and do it fast, which is really difficult... Up here. Ugh. It's a really weird word. I have... This word is specifically difficult. Let's find something better. Come on. Skip. Carry should be fine. Shit. It's still not fine. Nope. I can't do it. Normally, carry speed would be... But I can do it like that. Normally, I would be able to do it like that. Just snipe it in. But by pressing the same key, I probably... Oh, I can't do it. I need easier word, please. Please, god damn it. Skip. Soon. Is soon gonna be that? I think so. This is soon super fast. Sniped. there's a little delay when you're trying to press the same key. But this example is shit. This whole thing is shit. But I'm just saying, this is what I want to do because it's actually fun. When you try to do a normal like typing speed, you actually do no mistakes because you kind of make sure that you don't make mistakes. But there's very interesting psychology when you have to type, you have to aim and shoot. That is a word that I just typed. That's what I want to learn right now. It's like snipe typing. I need to type a word really, really fast. And I can slow down as much as I want to before and after. I recognize something additional to this form of psychology or way of thinking. If there would be like a word that I can't fucking type, like I believe bot was one word that's really difficult to type, right? We can try. Like not exactly when you're trying, but if there's a really difficult word, most of the time this strategy, sniping strategy, you just throw it away. You don't like it, basically. You tag it as I don't like it. So you like whatever you can do, and you don't like whatever you can't do. You like whatever you can snipe, and so on. Do fast. Do better than everyone else. That sort of thing. And I do find it like a similarity that's crazy. And the reason why you would throw that away, the reason why this psychology works that way, is in order to actually learn, you would type bot over and over again. But then the question is it really worth it to not make any mistakes when you type that stupid word? Maybe you just jungle up some letters and that is the word bot right there. I tried, okay? I tried. Isn't that enough? It's not an important word. Let's move on. So far, this is my typing record. My typing, sniping. My typing actual record is like 60. Like actual 60. I can't go any higher, and anyone who can actually go higher is probably retarded. I have no idea how to reach that. Or you have to like specifically train yourself for no good reason. I don't know. Anything above 60 I am suspicious, dude. I want to reach 65 just to get a feeling of how it's ridiculous. Even though, yeah, I'm making incredible amount of mistakes and I slow down quite a lot. It's the same with my speaking, though. It's not like I'm sending way less information just because I make mistakes. Like, Jesus Christ. There's actually extra information in there. Although sometimes it is garbage. Sometimes it is just wasteful to make people think that there is something in there. And again, even that is weird. Every single time you're trying to fix a mistake is weird. There are problems. I'm gonna try and solve them, okay? I can't justify everything that I'm doing. But I can try to improve my justification and my actions. I found another small improvement on the keyboard. This key next to P is actually more comfortable to press. It's almost like your ring finger isn't actually being used on the keyboard. Your right ring finger. So I just employed a new employee. Thank you very much. Your salary is 0%. Oh, and the additional problem was that if I use Q, I actually use too many things on the left side, and it becomes very difficult to actually type anyways. Um, yeah, there's still too many things you have to do with the left hand, so I put the weight on the right hand. Congratulations. Now it's supposed to be even faster. I'm already at like 65 almost. I just make a lot of mistakes. So once that's out of the way, I already don't look at the screen. I mean, at the keyboard that much. I don't have to, but I often do. And I kind of can not do that. That's pretty interesting. I still can't, like, wrap my head around coronavirus because there's one thought in my head. It's like, um, first of all, corona itself sounds like crown. And that's a big deal. And it's more like, I don't believe in illnesses. I only believe in changes, in weird changes in how life works. If you go out there and interact with a lot of people, uh, your body takes a huge toll because you're very, very nervous. It's very stressful, and that can just create something within you, or allow a creation of some kind of virus within you, just out of sheer stress that you can create yourself. But now we live in a technology age where the stress actually can be created out of just a weird combination of things, not necessarily just you sit here and watch videos. It's not going to make you stressful. It's a, it's a maybe the difference of interaction and how those interactions progress, and also the dangers that you have to look after um, to be able to avoid. Like, all of these little things kind of add up and turn into a disease that potentially could be a virus, meaning that the once the idea spreads of a certain behavior, or the flu actually amplifies a certain behavior and people start fearing that, they might still not be immune to that, just because they fear, right? And that fear could create stress, and that stress could create the ability to get the disease in the first place. Even if you're ignorant, you're not really ignorant to how people behave. So I literally don't see anything non-psychological about diseases. I just think science just went way too far in a completely different direction and introduced us to another round Earth problem that we should solve a very simple way. The moment someone is infected, obviously, they should go to the hospital and should go in a completely different and safe environment where, again, hospitals are not supposed to, like, pump medicine into people. It's just supposed to isolate them, but at the same time take care of them for their needs. Like, at the same time, these are people put together in one place where a bunch of sick people, right, exist in one place. So there, the visitation of those people is actually easier, and rather than knocking at their doors, like, there's so many possibilities that are available to help sick people without the need of, the need of anything that costs money necessarily. Just pure passion. Because creation of medicine always will cost money, always will cost resources, always will cost fucking effort, and it's so stupid, right? Because not only that, it will cost consent. Most of the people, if they think twice, they wouldn't take medicine. They wouldn't take random pills and random effects into their bodies that somebody manufactured. Like, nobody would even think twice about it, but somehow we do, right? Because we're so intimidated by the science. I'm not sure what's going on exactly with coronavirus and what kind of personality it has, but I am 99% sure that's the case. I'm resting my case right there. This guy, by the way, is a survival that reveals a few hints of corona. I stay away from the information because it's not important to me. Most of the time, it is gonna create unnecessary fear that I'm curious. I'm definitely curious of what's going on and if it's spreading, because I just saw on Instagram someone yet again cancels a show. First it was Avril Lavigne, now it was another narcissist. No, it wasn't. I think no. Yes, it was not a narcissist actually. It was a psychopath. I love it. I love how I label personalities, but um, personalities that I don't necessarily attach to, so I can like trash them as much as I want to, honestly. But seeing their show canceled in my country kind of touched me. Okay, it was too personal. It's not okay. It's like, what? Our government also very sad? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. So, I'll update. There's probably gonna be hints after I finish the video of what coronavirus actually looks like and how it affects people. First, this guy says a symptom of like short of breath. Not. I'm just saying, Keanu Reeves, did you do it? Because now it's really breathtaking right now. So, let's keep going. Oh, by the way, as I've hinted before in my videos, or a video, where PewDiePie comes back with a coronavirus update, China got affected first. So the first symptom of a personality disorder is China being crushed by a meteor right now, like an Earth's personality problem. They're being attacked, and it probably is natural, I guess. I mean, Europe has been attacked for a long, long time, and Europe represents Earth, so we're kind of at war with China. I think Europe has a problem, but then we created European Union, and now it's cool, right? But what about Africa? Does that belong anywhere? Does that belong on Earth? Because I would love Africa to belong on Earth. I have no idea, okay, what I'm talking about, because I have excluded Africa from everything. There are 4 continents for me. So I literally can't comment on what war is going on right now in terms of zones. But China got attacked. I know that much. And I know that they're wind people. So they can only be attacked with one thing, and that's not American thing to be attacked with, okay? That's a wild card from Europeans. They're Europeans. Please stop. Oh wait, that's me. It's probably just me. I probably just farted. You know how aces do. They have to reshape the world, and the world reshapes itself and gets ready for a message from the Messiah. I can heal coronavirus with my hands, with my bare hands. Oh shit. We have to trust this guy. I don't trust him because in the internet age, nobody trusts people who can heal with magical powers. I do not have magical powers, and so on and so forth, We're gonna have this discussion, absolutely. If coronavirus gives credit to me. Oh yes, I wanted to take YouTube, but first I want to take credit for the biggest virus in the world right now. Oh, think about it this way. Isolation. That's what the virus causes? Isolation. Sounds Earth virus to me, man. Or any disease that spreads. Hey, last time it was Ebola, right? The biggest one ever. Ebola. It came from Africa. Maybe Africa is Earth continent. Congratulations, I'm going there. You know, Lawrence Southern is not the only Earth person around here. Fuck yeah, I'm going. No, I'm not going probably, but I'm tempted. I am honestly tempted. Africa probably is a weird place. That's all I'm gonna say. I still need like super police squads to escort me to Africa in order for me to get there, but then I would live there. Like an ultimate police squad. 20 police officers. That would help. You know, because in case something happens, they die first and I get escorted back with the 5 remaining police officers perhaps. You know, nothing can happen to me in Africa. When you have 20 when you have 20 people guarding you, you know. I definitely need to start saving up some money now, so I could save money in Africa. Nothing makes sense anymore. Let's just cast another Ebola. Fuck this shit. Damn, Ebola virus. You originate from bats? That's some Batman virus right there. Is Batman an Earth guy? Probably. Look at that. Coronavirus is an evolution of Batman into weird creature that we somehow eat. We eat this? Are you kidding me? What is happening? Food market? Guys, I don't see the connection here. But Batman evolving and attacking humans yet again. Sequel. I'm just saying, you know, Ebola virus sequel. Let's go. Alright, here you go. Chinese somehow, in mysterious ways, developed a wildlife farming industry. Guess what that means? They have eyes and ears of every kind watching them and waiting. What kind of disease should I create so I could get out of the cage and go back to my forest thing and not get eaten, you know? These motherfuckers are crafting some various diseases. I don't like this shit. And the Batman came back for round 2 already. I think there's gonna be more shit coming from China anytime now. Yeah. Let's go. But we still have to survive coronavirus, obviously. So, brace yourselves. Eyes and ears, everyone. Can we defeat that? Animals are attacking again. My family. Bears and tigers, man. Look at those shit. That's not a tiger. But now he is. Because he's just as deadly as the bat. No. I have virus. I can't laugh, I just cough. That's how it works. Cringeira. I love when he says none of the claims can hold water to the idea that these wild animals can give enhancing abilities to the body. When, it's funny because these are wind people. Nothing they do holds any water. It uses water immediately. It doesn't hold it. Shut the fuck up. These are different kind of claims, dude. I think I will reach 60 2 consecutive times and I'll give up. Because this is my highest score right now. 60 is like so difficult to reach. My hard score is like 58 on 85% accuracy. And that's technically more than 60 if you count the accuracy and the potential of me fixing my mistakes at some point. But I really want to hit that 60 points, and that's twice. And then I'll do something interesting. I'll do this, as long as it has a voice functionality. I hope it does. I mean, I will figure it out eventually. But basically, I'll try to use the voice and see how fast it is. I definitely think, and honestly think, it's faster. The only problem is that you might have to put dots, right? You can't just say period that easily. So you can put dots and other things, but this might be the future. This might be a lot faster. I have no idea. But I do have an idea. It's supposed to be faster. I can't really dictate myself faster as I... No, there's no way. At the same time, it's painful. Learning anything is painful. You get that threshold of pain, and I always stay away from risk, so that includes pain of talent. You know, it doesn't make any sense to risk your brain getting jungled up into some talents that you might not ever use, and it's scary. Alright, this is not consecutive, but I did it once, okay? I broke the record again. I'm so fucking in pain right now. Anyone who breaks this threshold is insane, okay? Like 70 words? Are you kidding me? Ugh. Let's try and do it one more time, and then check the voice thing. Alright, so this is second reach of above 60, which is quite a big reach. But you sometimes jump over. If it's not consistent, it's garbage. That's why I want consecutive wins, because I get destroyed very, very often. I think it took me like 20 or 30 tries. It's not a lot, but it's annoying. Alright, so I set out to reach 60 consecutively twice by any means necessary. And it took me 5 hours. It took me making sure that I don't use any codes anymore, because they are straining me, not actually helping at all. So, yeah, this look cheat code, not so easy, because your finger has to move from one location to the other. You can press twice just as fast, and sometimes there's 50% chance that you're gonna mess it up anyways, so it's not worth it. It's probably worth learning over 20 years or something, but not now. So now we're just gonna use voice commands to type and see how quickly I'm gonna reach 70 words per minute. Not 60, but 70. And I must reach 70. I have so much faith in that. I can probably reach 70 in like 3 hours. I'm scared. People have been wasting time quite a bit. I have been wasting time. Programmers have been wasting time. The universe that we live in, which is the internet, has been wasting time. Please, help. The most impressive part is I'm searching for a tutorial. Are you kidding me? I'm searching right now for a tutorial of how to type with my voice. How the fuck do I find it? I still haven't found it. So let's see how long it will take for me to find something so fucking not obscure at all. Something everyone is supposed to be using right now. But somehow internet having problem with that. Jesus Christ, what coronavirus is preventing me from typing with my voice right now is I'll figure it out. I'll be very angry when I fucking find that virus. I'm going mentally crazy. I can't do it. I can't find it. It's 30 minutes now. There is no such thing as typing with voice in Windows 10, which is like, I can do it right now, but I can't, because Cortana is like, here's a command, I have to follow this command, I am a robot, I cannot type, I cannot help you with anything, and I belong in the fucking trash can. Makes me so fucking... Are you serious? You couldn't find a single use for this fucking learning AI. A single use. Because I can't find it. I wanted something, and I can't get it. I wanted the most basic thing in the universe. And nobody has it. Am I fucking crazy right now? Why did I have to search for an hour? An hour for this fucking shortcut? Are you kidding me? I just want to take a bat and just smash a few laptops or computers for people who don't fucking know how to use them and make a tutorial, be like, hey, use this shortcut if you want voice typing on your PC. Just do this. I had to search for an hour to just figure out how to type it correctly so Google actually fucking recognizes what I'm even searching for. It's so disgusting that people don't even use this. Now let's see how it works. Did this really happen? I literally said port. And it didn't work. It didn't fucking work. Stupid fucking typing test. White. Like. Space. Like. Wait, what? It turned off? Like. It doesn't work. What? I have to like figure this shit out, man. I'm in a whole nother universe right now. I'm happy, sad, depressed, emotional, very emotional, extremely emotional. Mostly angry though, because that's me right there. Cringe cough is killing me. So I probably won't be able to use this thing on here. Okay? Because every single time you type, it stops. And there are actually no settings. There's nothing you can do to change it. There's absolutely nothing. There's a bunch of fucking factory throwaways in here that nobody cares about, so nobody fucking adds any features to that. I'm disappointed, but it's probably just me, because nobody can even find that this exists and it's useful. So okay, fine. Let's move on with our lives. This is a very interesting statistic where you can start to see what is normal, but you don't know where the threshold is of what is like ridiculously stupid difficult, right? This is ridiculously stupid difficult. Although it seems like too many people actually still reach this place. But it's more like, where are the settings again? To check how you check the results, because, I have typed many times. So you just overlay the result as an average. What are the settings? Where are settings? Everything has to have settings. Okay? So please, don't give me this fucking graph and say, here are numbers. Well, what the fuck those numbers actually mean, I don't know. But anyways, this is kind of how I would imagine things to work out. And at some point, as you have the slope, and it squeezes and squeezes, it does reach a threshold, because there's the opposite, right? It starts from 20, but there's the opposite threshold as well. There's some kind of entry gate, and there's the exit gate. And they kind of match most of the time. And when you squeeze further, you're really like stretching some insanity at this point. That's all I'm trying to say. Don't do it. Don't create pain. Just be normal. Normal is good. When you have a reason to type fast, you reach the end of normal, which is kind of here. They defined what normal starts with. Might as well define what normal ends. Most of the time I can reach 40 words per minute. That's easy. But trying beyond normal, now I have to actually have very high reasoning of why am I trying so hard. Like really high reasoning. Beyond this point, it's a complete insanity or a competition. It's just for fun. You can do that for fun if you're retarded and you can't find fun anywhere else, because for fun, you try different things in life. You don't just squeeze yourself into a fucking tiny hole for fun, it's a different mental fucking capacity at this point. It's like speedrunning, right? Like PewDiePie kind of laughed at speedrunning, and I can see now why it's so ridiculous and stupid of what speedrunning is actually about. It's an over-appreciation of certain things, I would say. Ugh. Yeah, I like a certain game, but I'm not gonna speedrun it. I like Skyrim, and I felt like I'm speedrunning it because I'm trying to remove mistakes and trying to avoid causing problems that cause death. I don't like death, so I tried to play the game until it frustrated me and I stopped. And that's simple. You have to listen to the inner voice of frustration. Jesus Christ. Which screamed, please give me the voice typer. Better than this one, because this doesn't have any settings at all. And it has problems. Because everything starts with problems. Oh well, I'll just use it until I become popular again. What the fuck? I've tried all these spelling tests and none of them work. So might as well create my own test. Am I right? How am I gonna do that? Well, here it is. A test. I haven't typed a single fucking anything. What did I got? I've tried all these spelling tests and none of them work. So might as well create my own test. Now, am I right? How am I gonna do that? Well, here it is. I haven't typed Obviously, it's a little bit poop, okay? I'm not gonna lie. You have to be very smart when you type with your mouth. But it works. It works better than expected. Except it doesn't have features, but... and it cannot be tested anywhere in any test. But now I can just relax finally and stop viciously typing into my computer. Oh my god. What a new life am I getting for a change. At least for a month. God damn it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But, Jesus. I needed this. Oops. MadPad has been deceived. That is a very brilliant move, by the way. It's like water has memory debate. It has memory. And guess what? It is not about Miyamoto's or whoever just came up with this water thing. That you can just talk to water or interact with water with an interactive way. You probably can vibrate water, and as it's vibrating, it's currently storing an emotion, right? And you can freeze that emotion. Snap freeze the emotion. You can do that. So water does store memory, very, very short-term memory. But it also stores long-term memory. And can you figure out why that works the way it works? Again, he's kind of reviewing Frozen and whether this fact is true or not. But MadPad is missing, first of all, one thing is like brain cells. And the other thing is, yeah, I mean, he's popular. He's gonna try and support science, which is also popular. But popular things, you know, they win the war and they obscure the truth. They even obscure definitions. So this time it has been that. The attack on definitions. Water has memory. You know why? Because it behaves that way. When you put anything into water, water dissolves the substance. So when you take that substance out, water has been affected. End of story. I literally have no comments anymore. I'm just like, wait, what? It does have memory, because you can put anything into water, and you're not gonna take it out this same substance, exactly the same substance, most of the time. It's not gonna happen. Okay, so something is left in the water, and does water mix it with it very well? Not always, but we don't have to like dig deep into scientific facts in order to find some weird interactions, okay? We just need to know the surface and then move on with our lives, if we even have lives. Why the fuck was my audio low? What the fuck happened to me? Jesus Christ. Was it always low? No. What the did someone thought I was very, very angry and then shoved my audio way down? It's like, shut up. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, water does have memory. Short term, long term, it doesn't matter. Now, how do you interact with water is actually a completely different topic. Most notable and most destructive forces on water is fire and wind. Is when you spread the water around and when the water boils. Sometimes boils so much that it evaporates and causes itself the same effect as wind would create. Literally apply chaos to water and water gets destroyed. Well, we all know that all living things need water, and we Do we still know why exactly? Because water is the most pure form of liquid, isn't it? Like it. So it actually is not supposed to have memory. It is supposed to just act as a fluid, right? Like act as a carrier of energy. So it carries memory. It does not store memory. That is a problem there in that sentence. Water has memory. Like, yeah, it 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 flows memory rather, but it doesn't store it. It's not like a crystal that would potentially store a memory, because it's when it's frozen, that's exactly that's the coolest part, isn't it? That's that one word that saves water in this case. It's not. MatPat is actually looking at the completely different angle, but it's so entertaining that you can, say, fine, he's doing a good job. Just like I'm doing a good job breaking it down and shoving it into his face eventually. Yeah. Never underestimate, who started the whole mess. But don't underappreciate who unentangles. So yeah, I think I did justice. Yeah, once you freeze water, it holds memory, because it's supposed to flow memory. So if it's frozen, guess what? You literally press a pause button on the flowing memory. Guess what happens? Easy. It's so easy. You can look at life as like computers, and water's like information. Literally ones and zeros. Like literally. But it's a bit different than that. It's more like ones and zeros flow through water and not exactly is water, obviously. It's kind of like that. It's still like a flow, right? Like it's a substance where you can still move around in it, and it's almost like easy to move around. It's like bacteria stuff. Like it's a world of bacteria. That's what water is supposed to be. It's so obvious, but you have to put a little bit more work and thought into it to grasp the idea of water has memory. Oh my god, I don't know. I hate science. But I love hating on science, I think. I think it's not that bad. So, this is why most of the time wind is like associated with ice. Because if you really think about it, water is purified by fire and immortalized by, wind and coolness, I guess. That is badass. That is like the badass seal of approval for me right there. Even though it's so fucking obvious, but you have to put it together into a story that's cohesive and not just trying to troll against some movie that did justice, good, Frozen, nice meme. For Hearthstone, I'm gonna do a little bit of an experiment, although if I really think about it, every deck could be potentially broken. At this point, the power level has risen so much, and every deck has the aspect of that insanity. I guess the only problem that I have at this point is like finding that best deck and the best cards every class has, because every class deals with the same problem. And even Even neutral cards deal with the same problem, that there are actually cards that are much better than other cards, just straight up. There's a specific card people actually overlook. For example, a Cult Master is the best card draw in the game. Forever. For as long as we lived. It has been the best card draw in the game. Some people thought Acolyte of Pain was a viable card draw. I would punch them in the face. And a lot of people in tournaments would be already, like, scarved. I don't know what that word is. Bruised, okay? Their face will be fucking bruised. Because they put Acolyte of Pain in their deck. That's what you get. Pain. It's bullshit. Look at the attack number. It's 1 attack. If you have no 3-drops to play, yes, you can cycle 3-drop, congratulations. Yes, you can block like 2 attack minions somehow, magically, and draw 2 cards. Pings, you can do that, but why wouldn't you just leave it on the board? It's 1 damage. What is it gonna do to you? This is garbage. The Cult Master dies immediately, and you kill it with fire. It's a threat on the board beyond fucking belief. If something has taunt, Cult Master almost always draws a card. I mean, it's the craziest card ever. If it had 2/4 stats, it would be played in every deck. And yet, it wouldn't be that much better. It would be just harder to kill. Cult Master is just good enough, okay? Yes, it would be better at 2/4. Yes, in a lot more situations. I'm just saying. But, as an aggro card, it's perfect. What else do you ask for? You know, 2 attack, 2 health is perfect. I mean, distribution of attack is perfect. If you call it a 2-drop that draws 2 cards, that would be a perfect 2-drop, for example. The only drawback is that you have to play a lot of minions, and guess what? With lackeys, with all the shit that has been introduced to Hearthstone, there's more stuff that you can play in early game and still draw cards at the same time. So, the fact that Cult Master reduced in popularity over time blows my fucking head off. I actually wonder if Defender of Argus has a similar existential crisis happening. Sure, at this point, now that you have a Cult Master, you don't need another 4-drop. But it's kind of like Bone Mare, but less effective, right? But it's still Bone Mare though, but it still has to have 2 targets instead of 1. Yeah, it's much worse. I agree. Alright, so what's the best 3-drop in the game? Faceless, pretty broken, not gonna lie. You want it in most of the decks. Faceless Rager. It can be overlooked because, again, you cannot play it on its own. So you have to build a deck just slightly centered around these minions that just cannot be played on their own. Also, History Buff. It's kind of the same problems. Like, you need minions, you need a lot of minions early game. And all of a sudden your deck is now a heavy weight on these kind of minions that require more minions. Yes. It does push out a specific kind of deck that I very much like, which is Tempo. I play Tempo and only Tempo. It kills aggro. Sometimes it kills control decks as well, because they can't clear the board, and you know what board clears they have. Technically, knowing what your opponent has against aggro and control matchups, you win. You just win. So Tempo actually rules the game over and over again. It never changes, and probably never will. knowledge will put tempo decks against everyone way above. Because only thing tempo decks have to have is a bit of healing, but the healing then wagers against control decks. It doesn't matter when you can build a good board and like store value properly. Eventually, you're still faster at building the board than control decks, and you win against those. And let's face it, combo decks don't exist. That's a thing. Is Questing Adventure good? It's worth a test, but at this point, the buff, the history buff, is a little better. Unless you're playing a spell deck, then you actually switch to the Questing Adventure. Actually, that's probably for rogues specifically. But again, now you're entering a territory of like creatures that are good, but they require specific decks to be built around. I'm gonna break it down a little better once I, build the decks themselves. I already have like kind of templates, I guess, but I want every class, and I want to break every class as much as possible at this point into its best tempo deck version that exists ever. Except I don't have all the cards, so I'll have to stretch the canvas a little bit on that one. Also, Discover cards shouldn't be underestimated because of incredible value that they can provide, ranging spells and creating different spells. That's a pretty important factor. But yeah, let's just see. Also, echoes are pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Reno decks or one of decks, Highlander. Such a stupid name, by the way. I'm not sure about those, but sometimes it defaults. But sometimes you have just too many cards that are just good. Discovering specific cost cards or specific cards in general is not very good, because you're still playing a low power level minion, right? You don't want that to be a problem. So let's just see what we have for every class. How can we break Hearthstone? Oh yeah, these are 3-drops. There are actually no problematic 2-drops though. Like none. Oh wait, this guy is pretty good. You want it in a lot of decks just because it all of a sudden creates extraordinary value just out of nowhere. Your deck turns into like a heavyweight, which is quite a flexible thing. Quicksand Elemental is a beast. Questing Explorer, however, is another kind of beast, because you do want to constantly cycle through the shitty cards and drop shitty cards first as a tempo deck until you start actually doing stuff. Neferset Ritualist shouldn't be overlooked. This is probably another broken 2-drop. Maybe the best broken 2-drop in the pool. Mana Addict is also kind of scary. It has potential to just kick ass, but like it's not even a joke. With all the Discover things that you can do, you can collect that punch to break through anything and create enormous amount of damage. With a 2-drop. 2-drops, if they strike for the 3 damage, that's pretty good. And good enough. Like, if you can turn it into a removal spell all of a sudden, wow, that's pretty good. But yeah, it's still too it's still too technical, because you have to build this spell deck. It doesn't work. This guy is good. Evil Ride is fine. Doomsayer is sometimes legendary on tempo decks. Sometimes tempo decks just don't have a 2-drop or a 3-drop anything. They might want to skip quite a few slots there. If you don't have a 1-drop, like Doomsayer is perfect sometimes. It just floods your deck at this point. I guess Bloodsail Raider is actually like a better version of Firehawk, because both of them are like somewhat situational, and you can play it on turn 2, and it costs 50% less mana, so it's actually better in most classes, which would play this garbage in the first place. I wouldn't play it. In fact, I just saw a better card than Firehawk, Demolisher. It's a weird card, but if you can protect it, it generates value, which is what tempo cards love to do, is just generate value over time. So if you can manage to stick it on the board for a few turns, it turns into a nightmare. It's better than 1/4. It turns into a 3/6 if it hits something good immediately. If it waits for 2 turns, it turns into a fucking giant. Like, it scales so badly that I might just play this card, which has been around forever. It's a classic set card. Who would have thought that I would praise that over anything else? And I would. It has 4 health. It's like Cult Master, but not being played for some reason. I don't know why. Oh yeah, it's because it's random. And it also can hit your opponent's face, which makes this card a little bit too difficult to gain value from, because if it hits the face, you kind of screwed. It's a big gamble, which I don't like. That's why it's not being played, mainly. Oh, look who's back. Dave Days. Did he posted anything? Did he sneak in anything, or this is just the first upload after a while? Let's see it. 1-drops. What are the best 1-drops? Get out of here. Oh. Should I respect this card? This card is pretty good. It's got a Doomsayer that does kind of more than you would expect. Instead of destroying the minion, it does damage. So sometimes minions don't die. That's interesting. If you have big minions, you can play Death Charge, and your opponent still has to trade into those. But it's a weird card. Beaming Sidekick, nuts. Blazing Battle Mage is not nuts, but it's fine. I find Hot Air Balloon to be the tempo card. That's what tempo is all about. You put a fucking thing, people can't kill it, and all of a sudden it turns into a magnetic masterpiece over time. Just over time generates value and kicks your opponent's ass for 1 damage. But it's 1-drop, so it can do that. And the more it does that, the better it is. It's definitely better than Mekaru, because it simply has potential to be better. And usually potential doesn't die straight away, okay? Usually, back in the day, Young Priestess was an okay card, but now we have those replacements. And the only other card that makes a tempo list is Hot Air Balloon, because again, it's every turn. There's no other cards, by the way. So you can see how certain cards are just way better at being tempo cards, and tempo actually is better in general. Let's see 5-drops. 5-drop is usually the highest thing you can put in a tempo deck, so I will not cover anything above that. Skyfin, pretty nasty. Yes, dragon decks are pretty nasty. You can do that. But you can even do Sightless Ranger sometimes. It's a rush card for 3 damage that summons more stuff over time, so it becomes a tempo card as well. Yes, it's a card you can't overlook, something like that. In Arena, it doesn't actually work as good as in Constructed, because you can add some damage spells and it works out. Wasteland Assassin, insane card. Pretty insane. In fact, there's one card that has bad reputation for some reason. Wrapped Golem. Pretty good card. It's a taunt. Taunt generates more taunts. What's wrong? Like, there's a 7/7 in the Warrior class that does exactly the same, and it was a good card, so why is that one a bad card when it's clearly better? It has technically 6 health, because most of the time you're gonna find exactly 5 health or attack, but still. Sometimes your opponent does not find that, and it gets so much worse. Yeah, at the same time these Reborn have to be healed, so if you're playing the broken 2-drop, all of a sudden you have options. You have options. You have to understand about combos as well. Otherwise, you're not gonna create a broken deck. Not at all. You have to completely break the deck. For example, Faceless Corruptor is actually very good, but it's even better with something like History Buff. And because you play Faceless in every deck, you actually play those 2 cards in every deck. Every tempo deck. So as you can see, there are cards that you like have to play. You're just so good as it's in your deck already, please? No? Hearthstone is so stupid sometimes. And this is like the edge of that. Sometimes Kobold Spellkin is pretty good. So have it in whichever classes are appropriate. And that's kind of it. 2 cards. I'm not gonna say 3 cards because this is not exactly that good. Sometimes Skyfin, then you're playing a dragon deck, then you're playing the card 5/5 that draws. Probably Scorcher if you don't have too many Bard Clairs, and it's just good in general. So, yep. That concludes that. Let's go to the classes. And I will review classes after I build the decks themselves. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you're playing a bunch of lackeys, Barista is also good, but this is a legendary. And I don't want to talk about legendaries at all. I think they're all kind of good, right? No? I don't know. I don't care. They're all good if you have them, obviously. Jeez. Yeah, let's just go. I won't find anything else. I guess a thing to note about 6-drops is that you actually want to generate like a super quick value out of them, because they're just gonna be stuck in your hand, but the moment you can use them, they're gonna be the burst of value that you're looking for most of the time, right? While your little creatures can form like factions and conquer the game, your big creatures are supposed to just stomp anything that is like super problematic. Sunwalker helps because it's a great taunt. to this day. Very great taunt. Safeguard will also work. But Gyrocopter is the shit, and the Defender is kind of like control card, so you want to avoid it as a tech in your tempo. You would rather play Frost Elemental or something. Like, that's how weird it is. Tempo decks are weird. Or you normally just play something like this that's impossible to kill. But it's not necessarily useful. Obviously, you play Evasive Worm in every deck that plays dragons. So weird. Even this is kind of cool, but it's kind of useless because it's a 6-drop. They're just generally useless. As you can tell, there is a reason why, just Gyrocopter, guys. There's nothing else. The problem with Gyrocopter is that it's very good. Okay, that's the problem. It doesn't look good. No, it is. It's a spell that removes 2 creatures most of the time. I think I like it. Okay, I think I like this spell. And if it has to be removed. It just has to be, because it's 8 damage or more. If you just add that mechanic tech or buff tech, anything transcend this guy into oblivion. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about 7 drops, but they have the same idea, like Siamat, Rush, Taunts, anything that drops itself on the board and does stuff immediately. Even Worgen, it has been good in Arena, it's good in Constructed. That's my point of view. But people play Batterhead instead. It might just be good to tech in general. Batterhead, I don't know. Octosari, I have it. It's good. I like to play that. Even sometimes Anubisoth, like some weird shit. But Alexstrasza again, you have it. It's probably good. You know, like you can kill your opponent. If you're a tempo deck, it's actually useful to first conquer the board, smash Alexstrasza, and then go face. And you're probably gonna leave your opponent with 5 health at that end of the turn. And that's pretty brutal. Even this is kind of cool. Like, there's some cool 8 drops, but normally just, again, looking for this dragon deck shit. Like, it's obvious. The expansion kind of gives some good choices. Even this is like a good in tempo deck, weirdly enough. But again, when you do have legendaries like that, you're looking for value there, and to avoid big creatures, obviously. So let's see now the classes and how they break the game. I'm gonna start with like the weakest class, and I hate Mage, so I'm gonna start with Mage. I don't think that Mage is the weakest class. It might be the most expensive class, so let's see what happens there. I don't want to waste much time, so I'm gonna build the decks, test them out, check the power levels and win rates of those decks, and how far am I gonna get from rank 19, which I am right now. That's it. I don't want to comment on class cards too much. Whatever I'm playing is gonna be good, so let's do that. I just wanted to like give an example, and the best example is obviously looking over neutrals and seeing how certain neutrals just dominate. There's not a big pool of neutrals, but like unnerfing cards and buffing cards is definitely should be in Blizzard's field of view, okay? Like, they're supposed to care about this stuff, or at least nerfing anything that pops out as a problem. Like, there has to be some kind of balancing act, like a hardcore balancing act, from Blizzard's point. Otherwise, the game is just crap. Because you can't like build weird decks and still be viable when there's some broken cards. And I don't want to comment anymore about this. Any one card that wins the game is bad and broken. Anything that, like even a legendary that floods the board, like King Fayoris, could be broken. It definitely requires a lot of support though. Something like Colossus of the Moon though, very broken. Very much broken. It's not being played, but like it is broken. But there are worse things than that. There are cards that are so good, they win the game, you don't even know it. And that card is Embiggen. Or Ysera. Druid is insane right now. And I hate it. I hate Rogue, I hate Druid, and I build a warrior so strong that I think it's a problem as well as every other class now. Just because it does enable that specific thing that breaks Hearthstone, which is tempo decks. So let me build those, break Hearthstone, leave this game once again with a bitter taste in my mouth, because I don't want to come back too often, right? I want to know what the fuck this is about and just be done with this. So can I just hammer it down to people? What is the state of Hearthstone actually? Let's see it. I don't like that the first game that I play is a control deck that plays every imaginable board player. You know, because Shaman actually has a lot of board clears. That is very painful. I did like 40 damage, 50 damage, something like that.
You win this.
So, how do I upgrade that? Probably just add a couple fireballs. It's not like I have these secret dudes that clear the board and they do anything. They actually don't. One example of an excellent tempo card is this Dextro. It generates value. It generates enough value to satisfy 4 mana slot, and if it sticks, it breaks that value very quickly. That's what tempo is, and it probably breaks Hearthstone. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of annoying. Like, look at this damage itself.
You win this.
Alpha 10, seriously? Ziliax? You draw it? I hate Ziliax. I hate that card. That is one card that tempo decks can't fucking stand. And it's not about aggro decks either. Because your heal for Ziliax is Reno. Great. Amazing. Because it puts taunt. You don't just heal one way. You heal any amount of damage ever. So every control deck is technically mech deck. I don't know, man. The only redeeming factor is that aggro and control decks are actually pretty easy to build. Control decks require a lot of, well, dust and gold and all the resources, so they're actually better than aggro decks. But the tempo decks require you to know everything about the game, otherwise you're gonna lose, right? These are two extremes that you have to beat, and once you do, you kind of rule the game over. So let's do that.
And the fight for the Dragon Lord!
Sound is so disgusting. But basically, the other aspect of gameplay is that control decks play standalone cards that have no synergy with each other. Galakron decks are special, I would say. These are like gambling decks. You draw Galakron, you win. You don't draw Galakron, you lose. How fun is that? I have no idea. It's the same with Cthulhu, and I'm not exactly sure why Criterion promoted it. Because Cthulhu requires you to fucking survive the game and get the Cthulhu, and then you win. Because you drop a huge dude that almost instantly kills your opponent. Otherwise, you lose. That's just how the game works. And it's the fucking... I have died 3 times in a row, guys. My deck doesn't suck, I promise. But it feels so bad. Feels so bad to be killed by RNG. Ouch. And play mage at the same time, like that's double is bullshit. Believe me, I hate mage. I will hate it forever and ever. There's one thing in Hearthstone that you have to like set up for yourself. It's luck meter. It's literally how lucky your opponent is and how unlucky you are. Because otherwise your sanity will not handle what's going on sometimes of why you fucking lose certain games. It is really nasty. Like this is not a 6-drop, right? Like it's pretty unlucky. And he has swipe, so he cleared my board. But he did it in such a way that, you know, a bad player would do. It's so cringy, but you have to understand, like, druids don't have board clears. Swipe is the only thing they have. He was lucky to draw it. I had just as many board clears in my deck. So I could have drawn it, my board clear, and be just as happy right now, but I'm not. So it's so frustrating, but you have to have this mentality in Hearthstone, which is...
What to do?
One game doesn't matter. The pack of games matter. I don't think this was a token deck, token aggro. Like, if that was token aggro, we wouldn't have this card. Oh, he just discovered it. Never mind. I am retard.
I see you all. I see you all.
Let's go with the same plans. I win and I lose at the same time. Because I would have lost last turn, by the way. But this is the sort of tricks that you have to fucking pull off against bad players. This is a bad player. I'm sad. And sure, I can upgrade my deck with some legendaries, I suppose. Or turn it into a Reno deck. Which is not possible because you have to play 2 of those. You just have to. It's such a good card. So again, tempo decks suffer because they're so difficult to build. So difficult. This victory doesn't feel legit. But honestly, I wasn't lucky, so it is legit. That's what you have to know. Let's keep doing it. Let's figure out what this mage actually needs and finish the deck finally. Ugh. Okay, so far I'm not losing with the mage deck. It looks good now. There's one more benefit to tempo decks is that they're very fast, okay? They're the fastest deck, because sometimes aggro just loses, right? And you have to, like, get out of the game. But it doesn't necessarily feel fast the moment you start losing, because you still have to make the decision of when do you quit the game. With the tempo deck, you know when you quit your deck, when you quit your game. Your opponent has cards, you ran out of cards. That's how the tempo deck lost, right? That's the loss of the... You run out of cards, you run out of tempo, you don't have a way to counter their lethal or whatever. It's game over. This is what I'm talking about. Ysera, everyone. 2 dragons. Next turn. Right after. quite a lot of stats for just 9 mana. And I'm just saying, what am I supposed to do? Flame Strike doesn't work. Yeah, it works. Oh, it doesn't work. Yeah. Forgot about that. I don't know what Blizzard was thinking. I kind of want to fire all of them right now, if I have a chance. So that's one deck that breaks the game, but he broke the game in like a silly manner. And again, I say Mage is like a shitty class, so I don't know. There's plenty of excuses. Like, that taunt is unbeatable. You can't beat that taunt. I have no idea how Blizzard thought, like, let's make a taunt that you cannot destroy at all. We did it. We did it, guys. Druid has broken new proportions, new levels of fucking insanity. It did it last time with the quest. Now we did it yet again. It keeps on breaking Hearthstone for some reason. Back in the day, it broke with a combo. With a 14 damage combo that it had for a long, long time. Like, what? Please. Please. Rogue is tier 2 class because it has infinite value. Lackeys have infinite value because you get discover cards. These are pretty badass. This is probably the biggest available test for my deck. I'm playing against Embiggen Druid. Like, straight up, he's dropping way bigger minions than you would normally be able to handle. So, let's see if, you know, we reach fatigue, we really match up quite equally. I added some elemental synergy. It's working out pretty well. Yeah, I just casually have Reno in standard. And boom. Druid no more. Yeah, this deck's pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. But I was lucky with all the card generation. Like, I ran out of steam very quickly. I do have a way to supplement that, but I still have to buy cards. So, I think I'm done with Mage now. I think I solidified my strategy here. Obviously, if he played side quest or Ysera, I would just immediately die, but it was good comparison, because I could have played some better cards myself. It's not that crazy of an assumption that I can beat tier 1 Druid sometimes, you know, when I'm more skillful or something like that. But, no. I hate it. I hate Druids. I hate Hearthstone. Let's move on to the next class. Something that I would like a little bit more, maybe. Mage wasn't bad, but, like, it just constantly generates value. I'm gonna try Priest one more time. I play it a little bit more often, but it's not exactly like the best class either. Kind of struggles. Let's see what I can push it into. WoW Hobbs plays this stuff a lot, so kind of peek into his strategy. It's pretty cool, actually. I don't have it here. On a side note, coronavirus is pretty deadly. Because guess what? Governments can do anything they want. They can release any deadly disease. They can treat people as cattle. They can do whatever the fuck they want. They can create this coronavirus World War III, but it's government against people at this point. Like this, you know, ugh. Government is the actual virus, okay? 1,000 people died so far. Oh my god. Oh no. What are we gonna do? It's a virus. It's a new little thing that we shouldn't give a fuck about. But we do. We're actually killing more people by giving a fuck about it than the other way around. Alright, I can only highlight like 2 decks. So this is what I have. This card has to be killed. This card has to be killed. This card has to be killed. This card is pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. But it's not exactly a big threat, but because you have so many spells, it's cool. And with all these little threats combined, you have a pretty good tempo deck. It works. Bad Luck Albatross is just a very good card. Very good card against Druid, against Rogue, because they are trying to draw free cards sometimes. I wouldn't say there are Reno decks or Highlander decks right now. Now it would be probably Zephyr's decks. It's a lot better thing to say, because it's the card that enables those decks in the first place. But yeah, you don't. Or Alex Straza, but like, oh god, how they dare print dragons like that? I don't understand. Yeah, it's a very, very good card. If it breaks your opponent's draw, it's kind of like you drawing a card, but in a reverse. It's such a weird thing. You messing up with your opponent's draw is pretty good. Other than that, Shadow War's death is just an auto-include in Priest. Because sometimes people just think summoning 12/12 Van Cleef is gonna break the game, and sometimes they just pull out a removal and deal with it, and this is the most efficient removal ever. It's the most tempo card you can find, and I actually don't always use it, and it's a huge mistake, because now that I added it, it wins me games. Literally this one card. So, with that in mind, I'm done. I'm not sure if I'm gonna highlight the other decks, because I'm so done. Not necessarily tired of Hearthstone, but yeah, kind of. I'm tired of bullshit, honestly. I really want to take control over the things so I can actually develop things myself. But recognizing that, it's almost like, nah, I would rather wait and let other people do it, because the progress is still there, right? Like, people gonna do exactly what I am doing, right? You never know. That's the crazy part. You never know. You have to challenge everyone's perspective. For me, right now, being popular is way more important than trying to create something. Because there's a lot of creators out there that could unite, come together, you know, do something smart. They might just need a fucking leader at this point. I don't know. I have never seen people speak like I do. That's the first thing. So I was never attracted to anyone on YouTube, and that's the role that I wanted to fill in. Like, no one can match my fucking powers alongside with the same level, with an insane level of popularity. Like, okay, I feel pretty unique and pretty much filling in whatever I wanted to fill in. I just now wondering, just everyone hates me? I hate everything, but why everything hates me back? Like, this is a weird relationship. It's something to think about. Because if you have a hate relationship in both ways, it's like both of us, the reality and me, promotes hatred, like anger, or something like that. Promotes this emotion like non-stop. It never says like, please stop, please consider doing this, please. No, everyone gets mad at the same fucking time. It's so fucking exciting for everyone to get just mad. Yay. Except I get fucking struggles because I don't get anything from that, just an experience of somebody else getting mad and being a fucking idiot, and I'm being smart. But when you're mad, at the same level, he gets to feel as same as I am. We get to feel stupid at the same time, right? So he thinks I'm gonna be feeling stupid, so he does that. Yeah, I do feel stupid because I'm talking to a stupid person, but like, Jesus Christ, when it's all over, I don't get to be stupid. It's so complicated. Yeah, I've touched on a completely next level thing again. When two people interact and we get angry, we have to remember this. It's a memorable moment. Okay, it's a very much valuable, memorable moment. Something that we take in our backpacks and burn into fire when it's not useful anymore. Or we want to just tell a story, a campfire story. That's what we put together. It's like someone gets angry, someone turns into a monster. Like, it's a monster story. That's what it is. But if I guess both parties are stupid if they just don't recognize that it's a memorable moment, it's a bonding moment at the same time. It's like, that's how you make friends. You just make people angry. And that's how you make friends. Fight Club, okay? Once you understand what Fight Club is, that's it. That's how he created a fucking army of goons and friends, sort of. I don't know. It can get pretty out of hand. Fight Club isn't exactly an example of, like, morality. It's more like a twisted personality trying to understand itself, but at the same time, too twisted to actually live a normal life. Like, no. It's a good Earth person's, like, split of personality. Because then you understand, oh, I have a flavor for some reason. What is this flavor thing? Flavor is that you wouldn't actually be separate from reality. Because when you only have a pure personality, you kind of turn into a monster, I suppose. You turn into this, like, a very, very focused person. Like, if I only wanted to be a robot and do programming and improve AI or whatever, I would turn into a pure Earth person. That sort of stuff. Because, that's where the power is, but I don't just do that exclusively, right? Like, I don't just gather power just because that's the greed mode, right? Like, if you are a water pure person, you would probably just start buying everything that's valuable and then selling it later on when it's not valuable for you anymore, but valuable for other people. It's kind of like a salesman mentality, but it's a different level completely. It's like buying pets, buying popularity. You become popular, you can sell things now. It's such a fucking twisted market becomes. Ugh. You can sell yourself, sometimes your image, your voice, all these things. You just keep on finding things to sell to other people. I don't exactly want to cover all the personalities. It's just an example of, like, super greed taking over, and you just seek for ultimate power. That's when the personality becomes pure, and it's actually pretty easy to destroy it and just treat it as pinata at this point. It's like, yeah, you hoard power, and we're just gonna pop it. Because, power isn't like... hoarding power is an evil thing. It doesn't have purpose, and it's self-destructive, so it's very easy to actually counter it. Anyways, Oh boy. Hour number 3. We only have like 20 minutes left. And I literally haven't covered anything in the Royale. It's kind of like a super bonus video introducing round 8 before it even happens. Because it's gonna be a big fucking round. Now, obviously, this is gonna take a long time to process. Every single time, like, it takes like 2 to 1 hour just to watch Ariana's videos. Probably just gonna continue watching Victoria's, and I have to still find content, obviously. That's a hard thing. But right now we're just getting started. That's the hard part. As much as Hearthstone doesn't suck, it also doesn't have porn. And porn still fucking beats everything at this point. No, it's just, what are they gonna do? I have no idea. I'm slightly entertained, but it's not exactly like a large community yet. So, it's just like powerful over time because it has a lot of content, but you still have to attach to it for whatever reason. And that is not happening. There has to be someone like Rant actually being active and multiply himself like 5 times. I probably would watch that, okay? But until that happens, and Hearthstone fucking balances itself and interests itself with another game mode that doesn't suck, like Battlegrounds. Battlegrounds is fucking... I can't stand it, man. It's such a weird game mode. So weird. I don't like buying cards and whatever, but it's at least like progressive gameplay. With Battlegrounds, you just have to like really learn the core of the game, and it's very slow at the very beginning. It drains your soul at the very beginning because nothing is happening, and then at some point you realize, oh wait, this game doesn't have any strategy. You just pick a strategy almost from the very beginning. When you learn all the best things, it's just, there's almost no strategy in that game. I'm like, what? Hearthstone is better when you play with cards, not when you just lay them down and keep on buffing them, and maybe replacing 1 or 2 every turn. Like, okay, this card is better now. Lapreus. I don't know what Battlegrounds is, but and I don't know why Criterion likes it, because I don't see any strategy in it whatsoever. Alright, I really need to listen to Victoria's song. The main theme. It's so good. And it kind of introduces a very weird concept of like self-awareness. Because the song is supposed to make someone famous almost. Almost like specifically someone in Ariana turned out to be the fucking person to become famous out of this. Because that's how Disney stars are born. Like, they have their own shows and they turn into some singers because they have been picked up, you know, chosen. I don't know, man. That's what the song says. Seriously. I'm just saying, this song, Victorious, I need every song to be like this, okay? This level of fucking energy and message rhyming itself. What is this, man? Alright, I actually figured out a very interesting twist to this game. The maximum amount that this money pool can total up to has to be 10,000. Basically, there's 9 of us, or maybe 10 if I happen to watch Harry Potter series, because that's a thing, right? Like, that's a community. It's a weird community. It could also include, Lord of the Rings at the same time, because it's kind of on the same level, I would say. But I would never rewatch those films. I'm just saying. There's a girl here that I keep on not questioning anymore. Might as well reveal it. And double check how far did we went already. So we have 20, 26, 31, 37, 3,700 total. Oh, here you go. Once this reaches 10,000, the game is over. It's kind of like a creation of a person who can sit on a pool. It's not pool, it's poker table, and then play the game. It's kind of like a circle of life, circle of jokers. So technically that gives Ari a little bit of an edge, because she's gonna be like generating more money and hitting that threshold for everyone else faster, but it's such a tiny edge, because if someone else like captures like 600 right now is required, and the top tier is 500, but Ari has 600 points compared to everyone else. Nobody is reaching that level right now. They're close, but not there at all. But as I've said, like, Ari could have been generating points fast. But hey, guess what happened? I want to watch her show again. But guess what's going on again? She only has 3 tries. And then she could just turn off really quickly and be completely useless. Who knows what's gonna happen, okay? There are plenty of twists left. Besides, not everyone has unlocked their tokens. Todd Howard has unlocked a token of Skyrim, yes. But imagine if Skyrim was real and you cast spells and defeat monsters in some spectacular fashion. Like, that's what I want, okay? That is fucking badass. Todd even made a few comments about the fantasy of, or RPGs of the East, China, Japanese, stuff like that. I guess China doesn't actually produce games at all, but you have this Japanese culture of RPGs being overly fantastic. And I think Skyrim does lack this fantastic feeling of like being super powerful and enhanced with magic, and stamina being a little bit more magical than you would normally think. Like, even fast travel itself could have been justified somehow if there would be like a stamina based spell that you can just move very, very quickly. I wouldn't even need fast travel if I could move very quickly, or like use roads very quickly and just see the speed run of running through a road. But if you encounter something, everything suddenly stops because your stamina is directed towards something else. Like, there's so many ways to fucking fix things and make things better, and Skyrim just halted and bumped into a wall and just shattered. Like, what happened? I'm not sure when or if I covered this, but Skyrim is kind of perfect, just like Todd Howard says, like, it just works. The, the point is, like, every missing feature is a challenge for you to wrap your head around and be like, I need to make a mod out of this. It technically is great, but at the same time, these people have to take responsibility and be like, Creator Kit is garbage. We shouldn't have been using that. We probably should have been adopting Unity or something. Like, come on. It's getting so fucking old and stupid. But because I tried and it doesn't work because it's loading and loading and loading and loading. It's lagging and lagging. It is terrible idea to have a software like this. Like, it's so terrible. So it's definitely worth giving up and moving on to something better. But here you go. Skyrim is mega stuck. It was mega stuck, and hopefully something happens that fixes that. You know, we're patiently waiting more than 10 years. We're gonna have to wait like 13 in total. It's not cool. The most fascinating part is if, like, they shit on Skyrim just so they could hire a lot of people who are modders, right? Oh, you're a nice modder, let's hire you, and just keep on hiring people like that. That was, like, embrace the weirdest hiring process ever. It's amazing. I want to be a part of Bethesda right now. I have so much to do there. Is audio okay? It's actually too much right now. I don't know how to deal with the audio right now. So weird. Also, I've been covering Hearthstone, so it's a huge file now compared to everything else. This is 10 gigabytes. The other autosaves are not as big. Or recordings, I guess, yeah. Same. I would really just choose to do pictures instead. Like a slideshow, just to make it fucking smaller. You wanna, like, really, when you being me, you wanna do things efficiently, really efficiently. Why is it so loud? Is it loud? What is it gonna give me? Yeah? No problematic dewdrops, though. That is loud. Jesus Christ. Slow down, buddy. Nice normalization, but it's loud. Anyways. Alright. It's a cool program, I'm not gonna lie. But everything right now is not customizable, okay? Everything that happens, you want to see, like, the whole process, you want to zoom into the whole process, and you want to be able to customize, like, very deep. And there's none of that. But there's a little thing that is called impossible level of programming, or impossible level of intellect, or AI, that responds and actually learns and adjusts and automatically writes you scripts. That sort of stuff is like science fiction level. It's so late. It's gonna happen in like 10-20 years. It's not coming soon, guys. But it's supposed to happen, right? Because right now, when you're just navigating, even, again, I said voice activation or typing is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. and it's one of the most requested things that you would find in the world, because typing is actually pretty hard. And as you saw, the average typing speed is what, 30 words. So if a sentence is like 10 words, you can type 3 sentences in a minute. If max speed, by the way. Maximum fucking speed that you have. Because you're trying here. And you're getting, like, you know what you want to type already. But when you're speaking, it's actually a lot easier. You don't have to necessarily think what you're going to type. You don't have to prepare yourself. You just talk. And you learn how to talk into a way that you finally make a point, and then you highlight the sentence when it's finally like baked. And you can give the baking process, you can give the tasting process. It's like as if a video that would normally show someone eating food and rating the food, you actually get the entire process of creating the food, and then, eating it is like the ending. So if you prepare yourself, you can write some sentences down, but if you get to talk, you get to do the whole process, and the whole process is going to be entertaining. You don't have to fucking worry about it. Anyways, in fact, it's almost like super healthy, because a lot of people have just problems. I'm not particularly shouting on anyone, including MatPat, but, insecurities. Another idea that I thought was interesting is sugar daddies and the way population exploded. There's another reason why government would love population explosion, and it's like overwatching. Like, there's a lot of people just watching things over the government, and so the government can actually rely on people more rather than on itself, and that's kind of what makes their work very easy. It's like, well, the people gonna do all the work, obviously, and we get to get quite incredible benefits from that. It's very not cool, but it's the government that did the explosion, and the explosion happened very, very recently, which is, we're still dealing with it. We're not dealing with the technological explosion. Technological explosion is going to happen when what I just said is going to be implemented. When everything is customizable, all of a sudden, everyone's lives are so different and interesting as long as they actually do it. Do the programming, do the fucking customization. Otherwise, you're gonna be left out. Someone like me, I can do it, and I will kick everyone's ass with it. So I can't wait, but yeah, it's a decade. We're talking about a few more decades until the clock actually reaches the point of 1441. Right now we're in 1433, almost 4. Perhaps coronavirus is the ultimate change that we need for this stupid government control to erupt and change the game once again, because the game changes pretty fucking like it's a big change, okay? It comes down with a big change. Like, you cannot just look at the world's history and be like, well, there haven't been like super big changes. No, the population explodes. There's a bunch of wars in the past. There's a bunch of technological changes in the past. There's like cities rise out of fucking nowhere. You have these big changes, and you can't just ignore them. Right, so what's gonna happen next, despite how it happens, it's gonna turn this clock into this clock, and it's a big difference. Okay, the game, which happens here most of the time, is gonna change, so we need to learn the rules and all that stuff. I'm not gonna go in depth into that shit, obviously. I just need to throw some warning shots that it's happening, because I observe the patterns of change, and you know, decade is a pretty good chunk of time to call it a change, a timeline of change, or give it a specific color that is different from the other. Or, you know, as I've said, the game changes, so each time 10 years is good enough time to see like how the game was played. We got smartphones, which is another, this decade's the one which just passed from 2010. The main invention, right? The technology is portable. Internet is everywhere. And that sort of stuff. Like, okay. Yeah, I mean, I had a shitty smartphone, but then I upgraded it, and my life has been surrounded by this stuff. Even though I don't actually use a smartphone. But the apps, the social media, evolving a little bit, that's interesting. If we go back, the biggest invention obviously was the computer. This is when I got a computer, and this is when the computers actually got incredibly fast and capable of running weird, powerful games. In fact, gaming kind of halted after 2011, after Skyrim came out. The gaming itself has halted. Rockstar with GTA 5 did not, you know, blow up as much as they should have, because it's a very, very intense performance requiring game. Like San Andreas was the shit. Vice City was the shit, because you can run it on your computer, but not GTA 5. You have to have exclusively gaming computer, otherwise you are screwed. And this sort of stuff kept on happening, and it screwed up the entire gaming community, split it up to these hardcore gamers and just PewDiePie App Store fucking downloaders. Like, and it's still a gamer, as PewDiePie I would say, but like that's a huge fucking split at this point, and gaming kind of lost its identity. So that's the problem. And for me, like, it died. But gaming was very much alive in 2000s and up to 2010. In fact, the clock was saying 1432, which is like, I like this, right? I sit here at home and I just play video games and I'm enabled. I feel enabled. But anytime I enter a school, or anytime I enter like this public environment, a higher tier environment, it feels really, really bad. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like popularity, I don't like attention seeking, and I don't know the rules of that game, so I constantly keep on losing. Including now, I am losing 100% of the time, because the game has changed into absolute attention seeking, because the gamers have no games, and social media has evolved into candy media. It is not your typical scroll down Facebook bullshit and collect all the Pokemon. It is, you have to present yourself, you have to do the work, you have to do the stories, you have to match yourself to other people's levels and whatever. Sometimes you overdo it and you're a fucking terrible human being as well, because you don't know how to play this game. You have to be fucking not cool. You just gotta be brave about it, actually. And I I kind of concede I don't know how to play this. I can't allow myself because I don't have the personality to do it. 4-3-3s. Don't stretch yourself. If you're smart like I am and you're an Earth person, you have to wait it out, and it's going to be a perfect opportunity for us to come back and crush the next strategy that's going to happen. For me, however, I have transcended that, and I stand here with the Jokers until Joker's going to recognize me and be like, oh shit, you're better than us, or they're gonna judge me and say that I am worse or equal. The judgment is coming yet again. I survived. It took me a fucking survive thing, because I got the attention. I got the attention from unknown sources, which gave me the voice of God at this point. Like, there's some fucking weird shit, okay? It's like a leftover, you know. What's some leftover soup special powers we can give to people, you know? Oh, you get the voice of God, okay, whatever. But you're gonna be tortured for a week, and for the rest of your life, remembering this event that makes no fucking sense. All right, so with that in mind, we move on. I nailed it perfectly. I love it. I love that I know the clock and how it works, and it works perfectly fine. Except I can't predict the future. I don't know what this is. I don't know what kind of new little thing. There has to be some kind of technological thing going on, I believe. That, you know, there's a smart people's niche, but it's a governmental niche, so you want to harvest control over things. I would say like botting could explode at any point. Botting could be like super cool thing, because now it's catching my attention, and that's a big deal, right? Like, it's already happening. The only thing it needs is a spark, and it's a new like technological movement, but that belongs to the government or the wind people who like to control things, right? So you control the bots, and that's your personality. But for me, because I play smart, I can like crush this strategy, but I still can't because I transcended that. Bots are not my thing. Little things that generate value is not my thing. My thing is now, I'm gonna be judged any moment now, okay? For the things that I'm doing right now, I'm gonna be judged, and I have to be fucking prepared for it, because I'm crushing their strategy, but you know, that's not necessarily a good thing, because they can come back and make me feel all the pain. Like, there's no real way to win anything. So I'm gonna explain more in depth on that. It's a very interesting thing of how the system is fair even though it's colorful. Even though you have this clock, it's still fair regardless of which personality you have, because these are just highlighted personalities, and the clock is ticking, and it's, you know, making things interesting, but it's not necessarily like out of order, okay? And it's a very orderly, like, decade sort of clock thing. I don't know, it's so cool. Anyways, with that in mind, I think I have to finish the video and call it a bit different video, because it's not exactly part of this. This, again, as I've said, is going to take a long time. It's almost at half point, but I think I've started at March. I think I started at March, and now we're at 50 days in. Oh. Yeah, it's literally March 1st. Holy shit. Okay, that's beautiful. So yeah, we are 15 days in. It's probably gonna take like month and a half to finish this up. This is a much longer process, because we're kind of buying, we're kind of growing things, we're kind of checking on the entire team and preparing for like the last rounds. Here, table is like super fast. Let's burn money and be done with this, because this can get pretty fucking nasty really quickly. And nasty, I mean, not interesting, right? Like, these are people who stand alone. They don't necessarily like spread around the internet or have some kind of huge communities. It's not that. You can't really search much. They're unique to the point where, yeah, it's you can feel the earth flavor here, like, so much. There's one more thing I might want to do, though. The J-Tricks. I really love the law, so the law, BGHS. Why? Why did they replace the law? Oh my god, Lawrence, look at that. Look at that. This guy is amazing. If he does anything, like anything at all on the internet, he could just take the cake. I don't know, dude. Does he do anything? Let's figure it out. Cause it's so annoying. The girl, the Jenny Matrix, is like in a bunch of movies and a bunch of series. She's boring, but like she's working. This guy who just got himself famous, does he do anything? Because I need it, please. So yeah, if you look into what's going on last decade and how difficult it is to actually make games and why I abandoned that process entirely, almost. I still want to come back, but Jesus Christ. Only maybe to do the ray tracing. You have to do everything yourself most of the time. If you want to do it right, you want to do it yourself. So you want to do it in low quality. And whatever is high quality or high production value and all this bullshit, that's the message for today, which is literally uploaded today. So thanks, Cyrex. Thanks a lot. March 15, congrats. Let it die. Yeah, it's so much pressure. You have to do it yourself. It's like you have to grab attention. Is what today's decade was all about, or the last decade was all about. Just do it yourself. Grab attention. Get that reputation or whatever. So what am I gonna do with my engine? Where is it gonna go? Because I feel like I can inspire a lot of people. I can create a platform that's not necessarily I'm not sure if I can make a plan. I just need to do one thing myself, which is introduce into the system another ray tracing engine, and there's not enough of those right now, obviously. It's a new thing. It never really blow up or turn into anything. Is Dreams, which I think uses some kind of weird engine, are located at PlayStation 4 right now. What is that shit? It's a game-making engine that's located at a console. Makes no fucking sense. What the fuck? What the fuck is happening? Nothing ever makes any sense. So I really want to do a project that, works out and like everyone can appreciate, but nobody will probably see it. But I'll try and post it. I'll try and, defend my fucking point of view, even though nobody likes anything new. Never ever. They might get amazed once I actually like introduce environments and like late in development. Once it's late in development, like, oh shit, that's pretty good. Yes! You couldn't do it in a million years. In fact, I probably should do it right now. That would give me some points for the round 8 where I have to perform it. So whenever I'll have like free time, I'll do that. There's a lot of little things that I want to do to just prepare myself for a better stage in life or whatever. And right now is that one thing. I still have a pretty calm life. I can figure out how exactly ray tracing is supposed to work. Bring that up from the Matrix and let everything else die. Yep. Oh look, I just watched Victorious. And they're also rebooting things, and I get to watch an interview. Is it related? Yes. Yes, it's related to science. Wow, she's making one-time jokes. This is episode 19. How many did I watch? Oh my god. Ugh, it feels so meh. 12 episodes? This is tough. Even though it's just 20 minutes. Now for me it's tough. It's like watching one entire video of YouTube Battle Royale. Thanks for watching. That's impossible. How could you do that? Yeah, she's doing one time when I was 7 type of jokes that guess who Alison Hannigan did in The American Pie. One time in Bad Game. Oh man, I love same personalities do same things, like, ugh. Literally the same personalities, I mean, honestly. But the most annoying part is that, wow, there are probably just 8, and I'm correct, and I am so not satisfied with how orderly it is. Out of nowhere. Yeah, I started to, like, order reality, order personalities, everything is just, oh, it works. Nobody cares? Really? Really? You don't care? What if I steal your life, just out of nowhere? It's mine now. Your life is mine now because I know little tricks that can ruin your life. You know, it's just, you gotta think fast. Now that you know, it's gonna happen, hopefully. I'm not a man of action. I'm not a man of big threats. But this looks pretty dangerous. And it might expand. And it might expand very quickly. And I might have to finish this video already. Because I need to prove it to myself that I'm a, first of all, good person, powerful person. As good as an ace can be. Because I have to carry someone else as well. And enjoy life. That's what it's all about, right? Yeah, let's do that. I'm getting tired of these though. What else am I gonna watch? Smosh is also gonna get very boring. Everything is gonna get boring. I mean, oh my god. Consumption itself is starting to get boring. But like everything is, oh my god, no. No. I need people. But people are boring and they can't fucking handle this pressure. I don't know. I think there is an ending to the story. Not story, shut the fuck up. The story that when you get more powerful and you learn certain things, you want to like enjoy those things, and you want to invite people who are capable of enjoying those things, and that capacity is what makes you exclusive. Right? You cannot just enjoy things on a low level with a lot of problems that haven't been solved, and people just, swim in their problems that they just don't care about. Once you get rid of the problems, you can enjoy a higher level of things. So that is the distribution of power, basically. Is how many problems can you clean out of your life is what makes you an ace. Is the easiest way to fucking put it together. And obviously, it has nothing to do with anything obvious. Okay, problems are everywhere and all of the kind. If you don't know how to use the internet, or you don't know how to find the best material, or you don't know what's out there, you can get stuck. There's so many fucking traps that you can fall into. There's so many people you can like and not for not good reasons. I mean, you can attract problems if you're not smart or prepared. So what actually would motivate you to become an ace? What motivated me to become an ace? Certainly not problems, but there has to be something, right? There has to be some reason that people settle down for lower ranks, and some people can't settle down. But that kind of story is very complicated, because only you really know what motivates you for a certain degree of life. It's not necessarily easy to change, but it is the choice. It's like the life choice. It's probably the most uncertain thing ever. What motivates you to become an ace is like super uncertain. Is whether you chose to be evil or good. Evil is fun if you chose to have fun all the time. And not, it's the best way to describe it is like you really want to look into the future. You really want to look into the past, look into everything, and accept loneliness a little bit. Accept a lot of things that God would, but like, why? Why is such a big question? Ugh. I think why itself is the answer. It's the other people that go down instead of you going up. It's not like you're better than everyone else. Everyone else is like, they're trash themselves. And they did not ask why to themselves when they did it. They did awful things and they did not ask why. So they have never solved their own problems. Right? And that's the whole point. It's very, very important to find your own motivation. There is no motivation. You have to find why. You have to create it. It's your responsibility. It's the highest responsibility of life. Like, whichever part of life you're gonna act as, whatever role you're gonna get, it's your responsibility to create that as a role of creator, really. You sit here and you have to create yourself a role. And you have to keep the why, I guess. That is a big threat right now. It's probably the biggest threat. You can just constantly ask someone why you're doing it. But what am I gonna settle down to, right? This is too deep. I don't know. Maybe this is the next round of like sitting down and like just asking why until you break everything down. Because there's usually like everything is reasonable to some degree, and maybe I have never ever asked question how things work in a form of reason. I don't even know. I'm just so confused. Like, what motivates? I have no idea. What motivates people to want to be better than everyone else? It's just speed. It's just you have withdrawn from life. You didn't ask for stuff to be given very early. And that's the point, really. It's like you have the spoiled children effect. You have parents that ruin children's lives, and I think the environment is really important, obviously. And some people try and recreate those environments. You know, when I watch Victorious, it's a cool experience that everyone shares. The doers and the watchers. Everyone feels like a part of an experience that might be good, right? If it turns out right. There's so much. This is the deepest topic you can touch. Beauty motivates, right? If you find beauty in life, it motivates you. It's simple as that. But if you ignore it, it doesn't. Is it collecting things? Is it the energy? What is that? It's so tough. What makes you better than everyone else? Why do people give up? Why? This is the weirdest one. Never really have been so confused as well. It's very, very rare that a question I can't answer. Like at least in some random way, just out of my pockets, pull an answer. Because I thought about something else very similar. This problem is a bit weird. Because now you're comparing stuff of other people's choices. And you're trying to unentangle what choice really means. You know, you come down to this conclusion that you live your world, and it all comes down to choice. And of course, if you suffer through a lot of problems and you solve a lot of problems and you choose to do so, it's gonna be better in that world. Ace could just be a perspective, right? Because anyone who's low, they're not gonna fucking admit that they are trash of the world, of reality. They're just gonna live their lives and ignore those problems, right? That's where the equality is. The equality comes from ignorance, sadly enough. The equality comes from, okay, you get to be a god, I get to be a fucking devil. You know, I get to do whatever the fuck I want and ignore the order of life. So, this ignorance, now where is it coming from? You know, you can't ask this question. At some point there is a question you cannot ask because it's a choice, it's a freedom. It comes from freedom itself. So I guess if I ask myself, what kind of source of what kind of stuff freedom is. And what even is freedom? I would want to get that from the Matrix right now. Does Matrix contain freedom here? Anyone has freedom in the Matrix? I'm gonna take some minutes. If anyone holds freedom in their Matrix right now, that would be fucking insane. Okay, I even have to question what matrices they have, because they possess a representation of people, but usually people hold a very giant concept of some kind of power, right? That's what I want to encapsulate in everyone right now, and maybe even switch some cards if it doesn't feel like Ariana got the flood card for or token for a good reason. Maybe there's something else that we can come up with. So let's figure it out. It's campfire time. We have monies. We can buy snacks. Let's go to the ultimate campfire of the Matrix. This is one of those scary moments when you have no idea what's gonna happen. Next episode, okay? Next episode. Every so often I'm gonna come back from all the jungle of ideas that I'm gonna be swimming in, and we'll figure it out what's up. Because the best part is, this is kind of like the poker thing, but this is where people actually play poker. Like they craft a card and they play it. Craft some kind of behavior that you can find in the Matrix, or interaction with the Matrix, encapsulate it in a card, and you place it down, and how does it interact with everyone else right now? That's pretty cool. Let's see what happens, because you never know. In poker, the results have to be obvious. Here, we already have obvious results, so let's just make not obvious things happen. For what reason again? I don't know. Every single time someone contributes some great ideas for me, personally, they get points. For teamwork, I guess. For being good people. Because that's what they do. Good people contribute ideas. I am so lost sometimes. This shouldn't be the time that I'm lost, because I know what I want to do. What I intend to do, maybe review all of them just a little bit more. I'm not exactly sure if the passion meter matters anymore. It's probably just going to come down to what kind of tokens I have generated, because those are important. They kind of embrace thinking about certain things. So, and then you ask what kind of power it has. Then you're like, these internet mysteries have led me to this kind of behavior, and this is what I got from it. And that's their real value, right? Like, that's the power of a mystery. You have to really, really think about it in order to get the full effect. You have to crack the mystery first in order to be able to perform it. That's kind of how it works. It's gonna make more sense when I actually do it. Why am I even trying to explain? So let's go to the next part. Let's enter into the Matrix with all these jokers, all these fearless jokers. Let's be like, let's put it this way. Previous jokers were like, yeah, I'm a joker. Never put me in the Matrix or anything like that. Don't be foolish, okay? I'm like a liberty joker. I'm trying to have fun here, but I will never play this game. No life for me. And there are fearless jokers who think they're unbeatable, right? Like, I am an internet mystery now. I'm the craziest shit on the internet at some point. Or I broke communities or put them all together. Or I did some crazy shit, you know. But I'm supposed to go to jail, so I will go to the Matrix. Because I can escape jail. What Matrix is jail is you have to put it together yourself. Literally, when you go to jail, all you have is your brain. And your brain contains Matrix. It just does. It contains nothingness, which you can expand into everything. And you have to do a lot of work to do that. Not recommended. Okay. Yeah, it's hard to tell. I mean, yeah, these guys are liberty people, I would say. Liberty. Even though I just put jail tricks. But it's liberty, because it's jail tricks. Jenny Matrix. It's just tricks. Trick people that you're in jail so you can have more liberty. I don't know. Cool stuff, but I would put law in here all the way if the guy is actually capable of performing stuff, but I only saw another that he just did one more movie, and that's not enough for me to just sit back and watch more content that somebody has been in and hope for the best. That was great acting in VGHS, but like not good enough. Very impressive is what would describe it the best. Oh boy. So yeah, these guys have their tricks. They have learned. Let's put it in a positive light, okay? People in Liberty, they come together, they play, okay? They show their fucking powers. They don't play real games, so might as well just show off how cool you are, how cool your world is to other people, so to speak. And the jail people, they just want to see stuff. They just want to see secrets and turn themselves into internet mysteries, right? Like, that's the whole point. What is in the Matrix? A bunch of secrets, a bunch of powerful things, powerful magic that attracts people like that. You know, that's what the jail is for. That's what the jail people do. They commit crime of going into balls deep, way too deep into this insanity mode. So let's see if they have what it takes. Now we're talking. Finally, we cooked it. Okay? From start to finish, we cooked it. And you had to feel that fucking energy. Let's go. Next episode.